way? Where are you throwing it?
We'll go this way.
All right, got it.
I'm not telling my age though.
Y'all gotta
Just do an estimate. Okay.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s.
How old you are?
Yeah, black don't crack.
Yeah.
All right. We are live. What's up, everybody? Oops, wrong button. All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Kava podcast, After Dark session, where we talk about dating and relationships. As you guys can see, I'm joined with the full panel of beautiful ladies joining us here tonight, live out of San Francisco on this beautiful Saturday night. Hope you guys are ready. We have a great show. We have a great topic to discuss. As always appreciate you guys tuning in for my show. But get your popcorn ready. Let's get it.
What are we arguing about?
A man is gonna do what a man wants to do.
Yes, all on your wrist. Make you my wife, you no longer my bitch.
Let's get it. My name is Will. I'm the host of this show, the number one Polynesian podcast in the world.
Dripping in Versace. All these other hoes trying to copy.
Women tend to bounce around in relationships. They can't stick and stay in a long-term relationship.
Again, don't agree with this.
So let's say, are you still in it? Are you still in it?
No. So you're basically saying I'm a whore.
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be advised.
So I just wanted to take the time and make this video to apologize to absolutely nobody. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome to another session of the After Dark podcast, the Kava podcast, hosted and live out of San Francisco. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys already know my name is Will. I'm your top local host of this show, number one Polynesian podcast in the world. Oh, wow, let's get it on. We have a great show for you guys. As you guys can see, we have a full panel, and we have two more ladies joining us tonight. We're going to have a great pod. I see you guys already in the live chat. Too Lit to Quit and BL17. Get your popcorn ready and Kava ready. You guys already know. As always, to all my subscribers, people who tune into my shows, thank you so much for all your love and support. You guys already know what to do. If you value the content and see value in it, the best way to support me is subscribe and smash that like button real quick. All right, for the algorithm. All right. And of course, don't forget, this is a public show. So a lot of you guys do reach out to me on social media platforms asking me, how do I join the show? Because you guys are not from the Bay. There is a way. You guys have to subscribe, become a supporting member on my locals. All right. So just go to my locals. The link is in the description of this video. Click on it and sign up. And you guys become a supporting member. And you'll be able to get the link. And you guys can join us on this podcast from wherever you are in the world, like a Zoom call, from your phone, from your laptop, if you want to be part of the conversation, add on to what we're doing, okay? So, but if you do want to become a virtual guest, you have to wait till the last hour, 45 minutes of the show, and then I'll allow you guys to come on, and you guys be able to jump on and add on to the conversation. And of course, everybody who subscribes and all my supporting members to my locals, the people that support my channel financially, thank you so much. You guys already know. Appreciate your love and support. Always trying to invest back to the podcast. So I give you guys the best quality content, okay? Nevertheless, of course, you guys know it's a live chat. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think of the live chat. Let's get that live chat popping. Don't be a ninja watcher. Right? Don't be a creep. Watch and don't participate. All right. So say something. Right. Say it with your chest. Okay. But let me know. Show some support. If you're watching this right now, you recognize the ladies. Show some love in the live chat for the ladies if you recognize them. But of course, show some love in the live chat. But let's get that live chat popping, y'all. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and to all my other shows, the Wednesday Hot Topics on Wednesdays, the Masculine Mind on Thursdays, the Pacific Islander Kava session on Fridays, and of course, your favorite show is the Dating Relationships After Dark pod on Saturdays. So always appreciate you guys tuning in for all the variety of different shows I provide for you guys. But as always, I appreciate you guys. Shout out to everybody out there. And yeah, too lit to quit. Yeah, again, already going hard on the live chat. But yeah, you guys already know before we start the podcast, we got to get the Kava flowing real quick. So ladies, all right, thank you so much for joining the pod. And traditionally, when we have Kava sessions in my culture, we always raise our cups and then we just say some words of endearment, and then we drink. So my words of endearment, just thank you so much for making the time. Really appreciate you guys. Really grateful for this opportunity. And let's have some fun tonight. Miko?
I just want to say that I'm happy that I'm here and got to meet these beautiful women, and let's talk about this great topic.
All right. Shamari?
I'm just going to co-sign with what she said. She said it beautifully.
Okay, co-sign.
Thanks for having us.
Kelly?
I think that's what all I can say.
Okay.
Thank you for inviting us, and it was nice meeting everyone here as well.
Thank you so much, Renee.
I'm gonna copy that. But also, I just want to say, everybody have a good time and take in all this information. We're off in the drop.
All right. Let's keep it real. All right. Let's raise it and say alpha. Atu. Atu, y'all. All right. I love you guys. All right.
We have to finish the whole thing.
What do you guys think? No, just take a sip.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I think it tastes like dirt.
Yep. Healthy dirt. Yes, the clean dirt,
I like it.
Hey,
It's just
all
like
the
watered down
drinkers out there,
alcohol.
shout out to you guys. But let's get everybody into it. Okay. Of course, shout out to everybody in the live chat one more time. Okay. And don't forget, if you want your voice to be heard, drop a super chat. I'll be able to put it on the screen and read it for everybody, and we get to respond to everything that you guys want to say to add on to discussion. So, already the first super chat of the day. Oh, shout out to you, man. Can I get some podcast $5 super chat donation? Shout out to you, Will, and your panel. Looking forward to the discussion. Thank you so much. Shout out to you, man. All right. Can I get some podcast? Thank you so much for always tuning in and supporting the show. I appreciate you guys. But don't forget, one more time, it is a public show. So if you guys want to join us later on as a virtual guest from anywhere in the world, the link to my locals is in the description of the video. Click on the link and become a supporting member. And you guys can join us later. But ladies, let's get right into it. Thank you so much for making the time. Let's go with the quick introductions real quick. Name, age, ethnicity, work, status, and then type of relationship you're looking for. I'll start with you, Mika.
Okay, it's Mika Star, the fashionistas. I'm in the fashion industry, also a student. I am African American, mixed with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. What else? I am married in a relationship.
Okay.
Been in my relationship for 7 years now. Almost 7 years is about to be that point. And that's it.
That's it, because you're married. You're not looking for nothing.
Right.
All right.
She found it.
All right. Dario, thank you so much, Miko. Shamari, go ahead.
I am 41. I am primarily Caucasian that I know of, German. I'm a European mutt. For work, I do warehouse and I'm a personal trainer and I'm a model and I'm a mom. The list goes on and on. Status, I'm happily divorced. And like I said last time, I'm not really looking for anything. It's just, if it happens, it happens.
Mm-hmm. Okay, my name is Kelly. I'm 28. I'm Yen, and I work as a nurse. My status of relationship is I am single. If anything happens, it happens, and then, yeah.
Hey guys, my name is Renee and I'm 27. I'm Filipino. I'm a corporate girly, but I just recently launched my organization called Tutulong 222 on Instagram. Give me a follow, guys. And I am in a relationship, so happy early birthday to my baby, which is next week.
Happy birthday.
Let's get this way. My name's Leticia. I am 35 years old. I am Black. As far as work, I do a lot. I'm a life coach. I'm a director of a nonprofit organization. I'm a mommy of 4. And as far as relationship status, I am married, 20 years in the game, so it's a fine thing. And that's it.
All right.
We're going to roll it back this way.
All right.
I am Michaela. I am 22.
Okay.
My ethnicity is I am Creole.
Okay.
I am basically like Black, French, white,
Okay.
and then Native. And a little bit of Hispanic, probably more than that, but that's all I know. In my work, I currently work at a warehouse.
I train also, and it's a long day there. The warehouse job is crazy. And then, let's see. Currently, I'm not in a relationship.
Mm.
It seems like nowadays it's really hard to find someone that's serious.
Mm.
And you just have to just keep trying because people will act like they're serious and then it won't be.
Well,
That part.
So I want an actual relationship. I want to have it to do it once and have a kid with someone without not being married.
okay. Well, you came to the right place to talk about that. Okay.
We got a lot
All
of
right. Thank you
experience.
so much. All right. Appreciate you guys. And we have one more guest. When she comes on, I'll allow her to introduce herself as always. But of course, everybody in the live chat, thank you so much for watching. Let's get that live chat popping. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to hit that like button for the algorithm. And of course, if you have any questions or anything you guys want to add on to the conversation, you want your voice to be heard, drop it through a super chat. I'll be able to read it and respond and put it on the screen for everybody to see. Okay, but you guys already know. I see some new names here for the first time. I see Seminary Tiff. Hey, what's up, Seminary Tiff? Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and but we'll go right into the topic, ladies. You guys already know the topic we're discussing tonight. I had this video I saw that went viral online on TikTok. I'm going to play that video, and we all get to react to it. And then it relates to the topic that we're discussing tonight. And then we'll all get to go around the panel, get to share what you think, and then we'll open up for open discussion. Okay. All right. So, of course, everybody in the live chat, as you guys watching as well, and you're reacting to the video, let me know what you guys think about the video as well. Okay.
So do you think dating is easier for you as you age?
Absolutely not.
Why?
The dating pool is a lot smaller, and/or there's a lot more baggage to be a part of this.
So you see why men go for younger women then?
Absolutely. I mean, I get it, but I'm not a younger woman, so you get what you get.
How long did it take you to realize that though?
How long did it take me to realize that? I'm an independent woman. I don't give a shit either way.
Okay, so do you think a man wants a masculine or a feminine woman?
I don't think it matters what he wants. I'm going to be who I am, and he can take it or leave it.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So this was a topic that was suggested by one of my subscribers. All right. Shout out to you. All right. So she was in the 30s. She wanted me to talk about this, but of course, that was a video I did see online. So we all here in 2023. We all here in the modern dating culture. Traditionally, back in the past, people got married before having sex and having children, but obviously today we live in modern dating culture, situationships, sneaky links. People. Hookup culture. We have hookup culture. So people are kind of going opposite of the traditional. So there are a lot of women out there pursuing their careers in their 20s, living their life in the 20s. And then when you finally hit 30, they are expressing that it's a little bit harder to find the partner they really want. So I just want to open up the discussion. What do you guys think about that? Do you believe that it is harder to find the man that you want, to commit to long term and marry? Do you think it's easier to find them in the 20s, or do you guys believe it's easier as you get older, you're still going to be able to find and attract them in regardless of what your age is, whether it's 30, 40, 50? So there is a lot of conversation to be had that there's a lot of people saying that the best opportunity for a lot of women is to find their partners in their 20s. There are people who are saying that, but then of course we heard from that lady, there's a lot of women out there believe that age doesn't matter. Whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, you can still find a man. So I want to open up the conversation with you guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree to disagree? And we'll all go one by one, and then we're going to open up for open discussion to respond to each other. Okay. So I'll start with.
You had that one.
So you want me to respond to the video?
Yeah. What's your reaction to the video?
As far as the video,
Yeah.
I agree with what she said as far as it's harder once you turn 30 and up to find, Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, whatever the case may be. But I just think that she kind of threw in there that, I'm an independent woman, but it's just kind of like, there's independent women that don't want to be single. You know what I mean? So the fact that she say it as like, she kind of like reneged on it in a way. You know what I mean? So I just feel like most women or most people, everybody wants somebody. So I just feel like, just be honest. You know what I mean? All she should have said was, it's harder dating. And I feel like the reason it's harder dating is because when you're 30, you're more, most people are a little more sure of themselves.
Yeah.
I think in 20s, you're a little sure of yourself, but at the same time, I don't think men are. I think men is kind of like feeling themselves. They can, have a baby at any time.
Yeah.
They're not worried about stuff
Yeah.
like the things that women are worried about.
Okay.
Because I mean, we feel the pressure of, when you gonna have a baby? When you getting married?
Yeah.
The men, you ask when you gonna have a baby, but at the same time, it's like I've seen mothers ask their sons that, and their son's not even in relationships.
Yeah.
So it just depends.
Okay.
I ain't like her comment. Go
All
ahead.
right. So for you, it's harder. Okay.
Yeah, it's harder.
Okay. No worries. Thank you for sharing that. We'll keep it moving. Renee, what do you think? Do you think it's easier or harder when you hit 30?
I'm just going to popcorn off of what she said. At least growing up from a Filipino background, like my mom's been asking me like, so when are you going to get married? When are you going to give me my first grandkid or like a po? She's like, once you hit 30, you need to have baby right then and there because it's going to be hard for you.
Yeah.
And so I feel like dating once you turn 30 is being stigmatized just because of either family, friends, so on and so forth. That's all I have to say.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you for sharing that, Renee. I'll pass it to you, Kelly. Kelly, what do you think? Closer to the mic, Kelly.
My bad. I mean, I agree with what she said too, but yeah, like why did she have to bring up like the whole independent woman thing? Because yeah, like independent woman definitely wants, a male figure, like, that male partner. So in a sense, I felt like it wasn't really necessarily needed. But, yeah, that's all I can say. So.
Do you think it's easier or harder when you hit 30?
I definitely feel like it may be harder because, yeah, like what she was saying, like the pool kind of gets smaller throughout your age. And, like people, I guess it's because either one, like they're either married or like they're not really fully looking into that relationship at that point. A lot of my friends, around that age are like, oh, yeah, they're more like, I don't want to be in a relationship right now. I kind of want to focus on myself. I want to travel. I love the single life kind of thing. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Kelly. I'll pass it to you, Shamari. Shamari, what do you think?
So I think in your 20s, there's definitely more single people usually available. But I do feel there's a big maturity gap between men and women. So if you're dating people your age, the male may not be ready for the things that you are ready for. I don't really feel age has anything to do with it because also you have a choice to mature. Doesn't matter how old you are. I've met some very immature 50-year-olds and I've met some very mature 20-year-olds. So I don't like to put age in it at all for me. And I'll just leave that there because as you do, I mean, some people, like I was a young mom. I was married in my 20s. I feel like in my 20s, I felt like I was supposed to be the way I was raised. I was raised to be a wife by my great grandmother. Everything she ever told me was your husband this, you can't do this, your husband's going to think this. Since I was 4. So I'm thinking you turn 18, you graduate school and you're just supposed to be married and be a mom and all these things. So I was prepared for that. But then you meet the reality of life and not everybody has those same upbringings. So what you may be ready for, other people aren't. And that's where we have to learn to have the discernment in who we pick as our partners and not settling for just whoever comes along. And I think that's something I tried to encourage my kids was to stay single, travel, get your education, explore what you like to do, really learn yourself so you don't make those same mistakes that I made. You know what I mean? Because it's like you can get married, you can have kids and you can function, but are you happy? Life is not a grocery list. You don't just check the box and everything's okay. It has to be functional. It has to be healthy. And just because you're married doesn't necessarily mean that you're happy. So for me, it's a little bit different. And I'm not really big. I've never been really big on dating. I've always ended up being friends with people first. And then if it turns into something based off friendship, I think friendship is the number one foundation for a good relationship. If we can't do friendship right, we're not going to be successful at anything else. So again, I don't really think it has anything to do with age. It's just, what have your life experiences been? How were you raised? can our demons play well together? Because we've all been through experiences. We're all learning. We're all healing. We're all at different points in the journey.
Yeah.
So it's finding somebody that is willing to learn where you're at and whether or not they're willing to accept everything that comes along with you.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Shamari. Kayla, right?
Yeah.
Michaela or?
Michaela or Kayla?
Oh, Kayla. Okay. Kayla, what's your thoughts, Kayla?
My thoughts is, since I'm 20,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the older you get, the more you know about yourself. And I want a marriage, I want a family, but right now I know that I don't know what I want to do in life. How can I make that choice of finding someone? And I do not like the comment either of what you said about independent.
Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with marriage. It has nothing to do with a family. It has nothing to do with maturity. Like, you could be independent and immature. You could be independent and mature. I feel like it just depends on the path you want. My family, a couple of people of my cousins just got married and they're 28 and 30. And then a couple of my friends who just got out of high school are having kids.
Mhm.
It's like, it depends on what life brings you. It could bring it to you soon or later. I just feel like I want to be 100% sure if I'm going to get married. I don't want to do it again.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that. And then Mika, what do you think about the topic?
Well, I think as you get older, you want more out of life.
Mhm.
So that's what makes it harder, because when you're younger, you don't want as much as you do when you get older. So I think that's what makes it more complicated with dating, because you want more and you expect more out of a partner. So that's where the age comes in, because as you get older, you grow. So the more you grow, the more things you want. So if you want more things, you expect more things out of that partner that you want. So, but then, like she said, age really doesn't matter. It just matters off your growth and what you want in life. So the more you grow, the more you want. So the more you want, the limit is limited for what's out there, because you want more. So I think that's all it's about, is your growth. So wherever you're growing at life and you want more and you expect more from the person that you want to date. So that's where it comes from, is growth. It has nothing to do with age, you being independent, who you're dating or whatever. It's just about growth in your level of growth.
Yes.
So you're looking for somebody that matches that level.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mika. And then who has the little paper? You want to go ahead? Go ahead and introduce yourself real quick for everybody, and then you get to share your thoughts. And everybody in the live chat, thank you so much for watching so far. Let's keep that live chat popping. I see some new names coming on. I see Nick on the live chat. Thank you so much for watching, Nick. But we'll keep it going. Go ahead and give yourself a quick intro.
Well, I am Robin, or Raven online. I'm 27, about to be 28.
Okay.
I don't really have an ethnicity. I don't consider, I have a lot of background.
Okay.
So
Mixed.
yeah.
You're just mixed.
So I don't know which one to tell anyone.
No, that's good.
Then for work, I work for Amazon and I model.
Okay.
And I am single, and I'm not looking for anyone.
Okay.
I don't want a relationship.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And then no worries. And the topic tonight we're discussing, and we're just reacting to a video. Does dating get harder for women, or harder or easier when they hit 30?
I definitely, since I'm not 30 yet,
Yeah.
but it's definitely gotten a lot harder. I've noticed a lot of people's morals and goals are very backwards. And especially with, I feel like men these days, the hookup culture with men is just, it's more accepted, and that's all they want.
Mhm.
Whereas women, we don't really want that all the time. As a woman, for me, I don't want that. I don't want a guy that's going to be trying to hook up with every girl that he looks at. That's not attractive to me. And as I get older, I've noticed that's everywhere, and like a lot of different guys.
Okay.
Guys you wouldn't expect.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you so much for sharing. And let me just read one more super chat. Can I get some podcast Drop the super chat. Thank you so much. Shout out to you. Be careful. If men view you as too independent, it will be harder to believe you will easily adapt to a interdependent relationship. All right.
I totally agree with that comment. If I can say that.
I agree.
And to piggyback on some of the live chats, it's not necessarily us pointing at men, and it's not necessarily where we love ourselves more than our family, but what are you willing to tolerate?
Yeah.
And there's certain things in relationships that are never acceptable. So at that point is where you question whether or not you're happy, whether or not you're going to continue to tolerate things. Is that the environment you want your children to be raised in?
Okay.
So it's not that we're bashing men. If we're saying we're not happy, I'm not going to spill tea on my personal business.
Yeah.
But don't assume that we're bashing men and that we chose ourselves over our families.
Okay.
Just personal experience.
It's just personal experience.
All right.
Exactly.
All right, no worries. Thank you for sharing. So we all got a chance to share our perspectives. Some of you guys agreed it doesn't matter, or some of you guys agreed that it was harder. Does anybody here want to respond to what somebody said on the panel?
Can I just add something
Yeah,
else?
add or add something. Go ahead.
Another thing for me is energy. I mean, as I've gotten older, I can't hang anymore like when I used to be 21 or younger, you know what I mean? So it's like, for example, I have some friends who are still dating around, and I'm like, you know what, you go, boo. But it's like scheduling dates, doing all this and that. I'm just like,
It's became a job.
I cannot, you know. So I feel like that's another thing as you get older. Is like your priorities shift, so it's harder for you to sometimes maintain relationships or even like do dating because you're focused on, like you said, bettering yourself, or if you have kids, taking care of your kids, so on and so forth.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Renee. Does anybody else want to add on or respond to somebody on the panel? You guys are good? I want to offer you this. I want to open the discussion with this. So I know, I know a lot of women, especially the women who disagree that the age doesn't matter. All right, but I do a lot of reading about when it comes to intersexual dynamics between men and women when it comes to attraction. So there's a biological reason why we're attracted to certain traits, especially when it comes to the opposite sex. So for men, we're attracted to women. The three main qualities that we're attracted into women is just from a sexual standpoint, as far as attraction, is youth, fertility, and youth, beauty, and fertility. Okay, it's just because if you want to have children as a man, because most men, they want to have children, they want to start a family. That's the most optimal age is younger women if you want to start a family. And all you ladies, you guys all know, as you get older, there is something called a biological clock, right? So when you get older, your eggs start to decrease, so it's harder for you to have pregnancy and to have children. So that's why most guys, especially the guys that you guys are attracted to go for younger women, and then for women, you guys are attracted to financial educational attainment. So guys who have competence, a provider, protector. And for guys, it takes us time to build our financial resources. A guy that's 18, just left the house, still living with mom and dad, he has nowhere close. He needs a couple of years to work. And that's why for guys, they usually hit their prime in their 30s, 35, because that's finally got some time to work, got a couple of jobs, choose a career, focus on it, build some strong habits, be competent, and then finally become attractive. So it's not really a matter of, I think that's why a lot of women saying is, the reason why a lot of guys, it's harder to date, it's because most of the guys don't want to pick them. It's just from a biological standpoint, they just want a younger woman, because if you want to say a younger woman, it's the best opportunity to start a family. If a woman's 30, 35, 40, 45, it's really, really hard to start a family if you in that age. So I just want to open up that conversation. What do you guys agree, disagree? What are your thoughts about that?
I disagree.
Yeah, why you disagree?
Because you can still have kids at that age. So that doesn't
Which age?
matter.
Which age?
30, 35, you can still have kids.
I think you just mean as a whole, like, you know what I mean? We're taught you should have those kids younger because, yeah, you can have a child at 35, but they're saying it's more that comes with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they start looking more at your health and your blood pressure. Are you taking care of yourself, et cetera, postpartum depression. So I think he just mean as a whole, not like individual, choices. Obviously, we know women popping babies at 40.
Yeah.
So.
So I don't feel like that part of like having a family, because some people don't want kids. So It's just like, so just guys dating younger. I feel like a lot of guys that date way younger than them, it has to do with a control thing, and they want to control you, and you're still when you're younger, you still trying to get to know yourself. So
manipulation.
Yeah. So it has a lot to do with that, and the fact that an older woman is gonna want more out of you. So it's just like men sometimes don't want to take that responsibility of a woman that wants more and knows that's sure of herself, that you can't really tell her, go do this, go do that. She's gonna be like, wait, hold on, like, check this out. I don't want to do that. I want to do this and that and this and that. And then if you're younger, you might not know because you're still learning. So you feel like you can learn from this older man, and he knows more than me, so I'm gonna listen to him. So that's what I feel when it comes to the age thing, because sometimes I feel like it's like men have big egos, so it's like an ego control thing, that you're dating someone younger that you can manipulate, like you said, or control, or things like that. So and they don't have to deal with, and it's like some men feel like it's less baggage when someone's younger, because someone older, you're gonna deal with, they might have kids or been married and might have been divorced a few times or things like that. So they feel like she has baggage. So I don't want to deal with somebody with baggage. So it's easier to deal with someone that's way younger than me, that I can control, manipulate, and start this whole thing, because she's not going to know any better. So that's what I feel when it comes to age.
Who here believes that the reason why older men choose younger women because they want to control them?
I partially, I mean, not all, obviously, but I'm saying, I think usually men go for younger women because it's easier to control. I do believe, like you said, about the pregnancy and stuff like that. But I think most of it.
So just a raise of hands. So who here believes that the reason why most older men pick younger women because they just want to control them? So you two.
Wait, is that like including partially? Like partially agreeing to it though?
So I think control is too strong of a word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, not just control, but
manipulate.
What I will say is that I think as you get older, you have more life experiences. And I've actually heard a man say that, so this is why I'm sharing it, is I think manipulate and control is too strong. It doesn't matter what age you are. There are people who are just like that no matter what. But when you're talking older looking for younger, I do feel like people prefer younger women because they have less life experience. They have less baggage. They have not been involved in as many relationships. They may have less body count. They may have whatever. If you want 12 kids, do you want to get with somebody that's 35 or do you want an 18-year-old? So it depends on each person's wants and needs is how I feel about it.
Okay. Kelly, go ahead.
So I just feel like with that situation, with that situation, like probably, and this goes like for both guys and girls, I feel like dating someone younger, you're able to sort of mold them to who you want them to be, and so you kind of guide them. But yeah, like I said, it just goes both ways. So I'm not just speaking, a guy wants to mold a girl this way or the girl wants to go mold the guy that way. So yeah, that's just the way I see it personally.
Mold, okay.
Yeah.
I feel that way too. I feel like the older you get, it's going to be harder to take care of your kids.
Speak to the mic. Yeah.
The older you get, it's the harder to take care of your kids. And when you're young, it goes down to like the conscious and subconscious and just the personality trait. And man is always going to be lower, mature level. And when they're 35, they're 25 mindset. And I feel like when I learned in my psychology class is like being psychology.
How dare you?
Mindset for different people. There's some people like me who we view things already in the higher extent.
Okay.
And then people who are in different age men could view them at the same level as me. But if I'm older, again, like every view changes. But it's all about, manipulation, molding, and just trying to make something, but again, it's hard because like if I'm 35 and I have a kid, I feel like that's gonna be hard because like I'm already in my business, I'm already getting my life going, I'm already out of school, which is perfect around if I get out of school at 28, like that's the time I want to have a kid because I'm already out of school, I'm already getting my business, and the person whoever comes into my life, no matter the age, has to be in the same mindset. And if they're older than me, then cool. If they're younger, which is, I feel like it's gonna be harder because when you're young, you just wanna have fun and experience life and get to know yourself. And then the older you get, it could be the same or it could be different. I don't think it's anything like that.
Okay. When you made that comment about men being older and less mature.
How dare you?
Okay.
You're still
All right.
immature in my.
Well, I don't feel like every man is immature.
Right.
It's not like-
Because I have a
I get what
son.
you- yeah.
I have a son that's very mature for his age. So I just think it's on their personality and how they were raised and how, things like that. But I don't think every man is less mature than a woman at the same age. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, I think you just gotta specify that you don't mean as a whole.
Yeah.
Because that's why everybody started looking like,
I like bouncing back on what you said. I feel like it's definitely the environment, who they're raised by, how they're raised by. So yeah, it kind of varies, but yeah.
And then also about having kids, I feel like no matter what age you are, you're not ready for kids. It doesn't matter if you're financially ready, mentally ready,
physically ready.
Physically, you're never ready. You never know what to expect. Every kid is different and bring you a different dramas or whatever. So even if you have a kid, if you have another kid, you're going to experience a whole different experience than you did the first time around. So age and all that kind of stuff when it comes to having kids does not matter.
Okay. The girls and I earlier, we were like, regarding our bodies, our money, our choice. And so I'm going to go back to kids and age. It's like, shout out to all the people that are, or in their TTC journey trying to conceive. If you've lost a baby, my heart goes out to you guys. But if I want kids. If I, for example, don't have kids by, okay, hold on, backtrack a little bit. Okay, if I was in an alternate reality and if I don't have kids by X amount or by this year, you better be helping me pay for saving my eggs. If we're in this thing together, you're gonna be helping me. And then going a little bit about I heard some manipulation and control over age. Okay, I love true crime podcasts, and I mean grooming, guys. There are some people that do that, and that's all I'm gonna say because I can't think of anything else.
Okay. Anybody else wanted to add on? Good.
I'm good.
You good? Okay. I got a lot of work to do tonight. Okay, so let me. I do disagree.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
I'm in my head like this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up.
I do disagree with the idea that the main reason. I'm not saying all men. I'm sure there's men out there that, there are some men out there, I would say, that are specifically wanting younger women because they just want to manipulate them and control them because, they're more naive. I agree with that. But I don't think that's the majority, especially if we're talking about masculine, healthy, good men. Okay. So like I told you guys before, we just have different preferences of what we attract to sexually. So for men, we just go for younger women because of youth, beauty, fertility, because it's easier we know for a fact that we can have a better chance of having a child with a younger woman than an older woman.
But there are women who are young and they're infertile as well.
I know, but the majority of women, I'm saying majority of women, they can have babies. There's a small percentage of women who are infertile, unfortunately, but it's not the majority of women, right? And you did mention that there's women out there that can have babies in their 30s, 35, 40, yeah, of course, but that's not a high probability. So the older you get as a woman, then your eggs start to decrease, right? It's a fact, it's a biological fact. So the best time for you guys to have babies is in your 20s. So that's why for a lot of women, they hit 30, 35. Are there women out there having babies in 30, 35, 40, but it's not the majority, right? It is a small percentage of women out there that's having babies over 30. So we just prefer younger women because of we want to have babies with them. It's just our natural selection when it comes to attraction. And because I'll give you guys an example. Do you guys find it attractive a man that has a career, has his life together, and can financially support you? Is that attractive to you?
Yes.
Right? Like financial competence. A man's ability to financially provide for you. Is that attractive to all you ladies? Yeah.
Something going on.
Yeah. Right.
For me, it's what you can bring to the table to match my energy.
Well,
He's
surpassing your energy.
Yeah.
He can take care
I'm
of
not
you.
talking about energy. I'm just talking about.
I can take
he
care
has-
of myself.
No, I understand that.
What can you do that's better than what I'm doing for myself?
No, I'm just talking about like it's just from a sexual attraction standpoint. When you see a man who is that you see he has a career, he's working hard, he has a plan, he has goals, he has ambitions, and he's working on himself to make sure that he's leveling up financially. Is that attractive to you?
Yep.
Yeah, right. So the thing is for a lot of guys is a man's ability to financially provide for you. It's naturally for you guys to be attracted to that because when you guys have children, it's better biologically for you to align with the man because when you go through pregnancy, it's better for you to align with the man that can financially support you, right? If you go with a man that has no financial ability to provide for you, it'll put you at a risk because he might leave you, he can't take you, and then you have to end up doing that for yourself. So a lot of people will complain, especially a lot of the broke men will say, oh, the reason why women want men with money is because they're gold diggers. I disagree with those guys. It's not because they're gold diggers, because it's biologically unnatural for you to select a man that has financial competence and ability, because when you have children, you want a man to take care of you through your pregnancy, because it's really hard to do both. So it's better for you to go find a man that can take care of you. And if you ask most women, would you rather work through your pregnancy, or would you rather be with a good man that can financially take care of you? Most women would say, I'd rather be with a man that can take care of me. I don't want to work through my pregnancy.
I worked through too, so I totally understand.
Yeah.
And
Because you had to, right?
And the older you get, the more health risks are involved that I don't think people think about. So just because you can doesn't mean you should. I remember one of the quotes I've held with me is, "Don't get sold on your capability over your capacity."
Yeah.
So just because you can have kids, you have to evaluate the risks with your partner and make sure that you're doing all the medical screenings once you're over 35.
Yeah.
To ensure that you're prepared for the journey if your child should have a disability or if it's a health threat. Are you able to really make those decisions and be mentally okay? I don't think people think about the mental aspect of it and the emotional trauma that can happen from having a loss like that if it's not necessary.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Shamari. And then for the control thing, the reason why I disagree, it's not about control. I want to ask the ladies real quick. When you go in a relationship with a man long term, do you guys prefer a man to be a leader, to lead the relationship?
Absolutely.
Yes. Renee?
Yes.
Yes.
I would say I can go both ways.
Okay. I mean, if you had two men, one man is a leader, like
I don't want a man who's a follower who's gonna just get in
okay.
with
So you
the
want a
crowd,
leader.
but I want someone who is gonna match my energy and work with me, not just gonna try and lead me and be, oh, I'm ahead of you. I'm this. I'm gonna tell you what to do. I'm gonna control you. I don't want that. We can walk together. We can go our own path, but you're not gonna control me. Tell me what to do. It's a little different for a leader to me.
Robin. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. If you were being robbed, do you want your man to
Obviously,
handle that for you?
Every woman would want a man.
So you want
to
your man to
defend.
lead?
I want my man to step up and be what he's supposed to be. That doesn't mean he needs to lead.
That's the
But I
part.
do
That's
want
part of
him
leading.
To, okay. Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. All right. So you want a leader, right?
Sure.
Okay. All right, Shamari?
Yes, sir. 100%.
Yes. Leader? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Yes. And then Mika, yes or no?
Well, I don't date men.
No, you don't. Okay. You're right.
So it's different in my situation.
Well, our situation is different, right? So we're just talking about heterosexual relationships, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. It's not about control. If you want a man to be a leader, and there's a man out there, and there are men out there who want to be leaders, all right, and they're working on themselves to be good, competent leaders, right? If the man is going to be a leader, he has to have, and a lot of women don't like this word, but this is the right word for it. He has to have authority over you because that's the responsibility of a leader. I'm the leader. You're trusting me, all right? You're trusting me to make decisions for the family, and he's proven to you that he can do that, and you have to allow him to lead because by definition, that's what a leader does. And the thing is, for a leader, in order for him to be with a woman, he wants a woman that's cooperative. It's not about control. You want a cooperative, and then you guys heard the term submissive. We want submissive women. A woman is willing to follow my leadership, right? So the reason why we go with younger women, it's not because they're naive, they're easy to control. There are older women out there less mature. There are younger women who are very mature. So maturity is not based on age. All right, you guys all mentioned before. You mentioned it. There's 35-year-old men who are still immature, right? It goes both ways for men and women.
I agree with that.
Right. So for me as a man, if I want to lead, then I want to be the man of the family. Then I want a woman that's cooperative. So the thing is, for women who have a lot of experiences and have gone through life and have had a lot of failed relationships, they have a very pessimistic and negative perspective towards men. It's hard for them to trust a man because most of the experiences that you went through, especially if you're 30, 35, 40, and you're still single, you don't really trust a man. And then when a man comes into your life, especially a leader, to tell you, hey, I'm the man, I'm the leader, this is the way we're going to do things. Most women who are very independent and have a lot of life experience and have failed in relationships, it's really hard for them to trust a man completely to lead. And for a man, I'm not going to fight for you to follow me. It's either you're going to follow me or you don't. If you don't want to follow me, no worries. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But
well, I have something to say about that.
Go ahead.
I feel like in a relationship, it's give and take. Sometimes the woman is the leader in certain situations. Sometimes the man is the leader. So it's just being able to fit those roles in a situation. So sometimes in a relationship, it goes both ways. So in certain situations, the man's going to take the lead, and in some situations, the woman's going to take the lead. So I feel like it goes both ways.
Okay, so I'll let you respond, but I will say this. I asked you a question, right? Do you want a man to lead? If you want a man to lead, then he has to lead. The problem is a lot of you guys are not aligned with leaders. You guys choose a man who don't know how to lead. A man who cannot lead will allow you to dictate what happens and he will rely on you to make decisions. That doesn't happen for a man that's a masculine man that wants to be a leader. But he will set the boundaries of the relationship. He'll let you know his expectations, and it's up to you to make a choice if you want to follow his program.
And
if
I
you don't
got
want to
something
follow
else to
it,
say
if you
about
don't want
that.
to follow it, that's okay.
Because a lot of women replay when it comes to relationships.
I'm gonna forget. That's why.
When it comes to relationships, women know how to master this really well. Where it's our idea, but we make them feel like they're leading, but it's us being the backbone to suggest that that's how it's supposed to go sometimes.
Shamar?
So if I can say this, men want women who listen, because if you don't listen, I can't provide and protect for you. Right?
How you gonna follow directions if you don't want to listen? That's the
So it comes down to your discernment. Who are you choosing? We can't put it off on men. It's who are you choosing? Are you choosing a weak, abusive, bitter male, or are you choosing a healthy masculine that is capable and proven to lead you properly? So it all comes down to what experiences that you want for yourself and your ability to make those decisions. And why are you having somebody in your space that you don't trust? If you don't trust them, show them the door.
I just think it depends on the situation.
Well, what I was gonna say is, I believe men should lead at all times.
Yeah.
Well, let me correct that. I'm sorry.
I believe a husband should lead at all times.
There we go.
So I believe that a husband should lead at all times. And I also believe that a husband is wise enough to know when he's in a situation that his wife have a better perspective on to allow her to lead.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, you as a male in that situation, you're still leading.
Yes.
Like, you know, if you're sitting here and saying like, hey, babe, you know, you deal with the kids when it comes to school, you're allowing me to lead that situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
That's,
like
that was my vibe.
certain situations is like, you know, it's like a give and take. Like certain situations, like maybe when it comes to disciplining the kids, like the husband might be more firm than the wife might be, or vice versa. So it just depends on the situation.
But what he's saying, and even in that situation, the husband's still leading it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like when it comes down to my house, like, yeah, I'll put my foot down, no problem. But if I call daddy, oh, you don't want that foot down. They know. You know what I mean? So it just I hear what you're saying, but I do believe that a man should always lead. A husband should always lead.
The word that we're looking for is delegation. So
I
a
hear
leader
you
will
that.
delegate responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
As a man, I know that I suck in the kitchen. Okay, so I'm not gonna try to lead that. I know my.
Doing dishes well? You're not cooking? I'm just kidding.
All right,
At least prep.
The one, like there's something about women that you guys just make a home, like make a house a home. Like,
Absolutely.
Right. I can't. For men, we can't figure it out. We're just good at different things. And a man is a leader. It knows the different things that you're good at, and it will let you take over that situation. But he's still the leader.
Absolutely.
Just like a CEO, right? A CEO, he doesn't run the company by himself. He has a team. He has people that advise him. Right? He's like, hey, I'm not good at this. What do you think?
He's got a
So
president.
yeah, exactly. So that's what the wife is. He runs it by his wife. A good man will run it by his wife, not a toxic, not a controlling man.
Right.
Hey, what do you think about this? Let's put our heads together. But at the end of the day, he still has to make the final decision as
Absolutely.
a team. As a team.
Right. And that's what it comes. Another analogy is that I heard is the man is the head of the household. The husband is the head of the household, right? And the wife is the neck, to where we have this communication between each other.
Yeah.
And it's a private communication. It doesn't go outside. The kids don't hear. Nobody else knows. But you guys are talking. You're picking each other's brains. You're brainstorming. It's us versus the problem. And we're going to solve it together.
Okay.
Yeah, the team part. It has to be a team.
partnership.
You have to feel like a teammate in the situation. You can't just feel like, oh, this is what I'm do, and you're gonna do it, and da 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 da. It has to be a team thing, and I think that's where it works, and that's where the trust comes in, where you feel like, okay, I can let my husband or my man or whatever lead. And I trust that they're going to lead me the right way, lead our family the right way, because we're a team.
Yeah.
It's not just one-sided.
But you know where the balls get dropped right there is you're talking about like step 5, but that it got skipped over. You know what I mean? You should know that before you have a baby with someone, before you marry someone. You know what I mean? Like people are getting married, then they're just like, oh, well, he don't lead, or he telling me what to do, and you know, all this other stuff. But it's just kind of like those are the things that need to be addressed in that relationship, or just us communicating with one another. I believe like I would say when you're 30, I'm more sure of myself. So it's coming down like, hey, do you want kids? Like, I don't want to beat around the bush to ask you that question. I know I want kids. Do you want kids? Do you want to get married? Because oftentimes we push relationships. Like, it's like, oh, I'm attracted to you. But, you know, being attracted to somebody is just not enough. You know what I mean? We have to know, like, this is his standards. This is my standards. And I'm not going to try to change him. That's where I feel like women go wrong at. We try to change. Like, you don't want kids?
Yeah.
We're going to talk for 5 years. He don't want kids in about 6 years. It's like, no.
And then you get
disappointed.
pregnant and you mad that he's not there, but he told you from the beginning he don't want kids. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, let me read the super chat real quick. Can I get some podcast said, but if both of you don't agree on something, someone has to make the final call. If you respect his judgment, you should defer to him. All right, thank you so much. Shout out to you. You guys are going hard in the live chat right now. Appreciate you guys in the live chat.
It sounds horrible to me.
Which one?
You guys make it sound like he is some dictator and I need to listen to his every... No. We are a partner. This is a partnership. This is a one-on-one. We make this decision together as a team, which is not an I. So it is not I get the final say because I'm a man and I have... I got the falls inside of me and I pushed a baby out of me. So I'll be okay to make decisions on my own. I don't like that
Go ahead. You want
feeling.
No, you take it. You take it. Go ahead. You take it. You take it.
I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to see how I could express this softly. You know what I mean? It ain't what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I think that when we say like a man should lead, you're looking at it like my foot is down. That's it.
the way
I feel like it's all about your belief system, though.
Yeah.
If you feel that works for you, then you're gonna have to meet a man that works for. But what I will say is that's not gonna work for a masculine man. You know what I mean? Like me and you both can't wear the pants. It's either I'm wearing the pants and you wearing shorts. I don't want to say a dress because people get offended. But you know, we both can't run it. That's just
The
what it
panties.
is. Like, yeah. Like my husband's 6'3". He ain't wearing underwear. He ain't wearing thongs.
Because like it should be an equal partnership. You should be able to make decisions.
But that's
together.
the thing. Truth be told, I agree with you to an
And
extent,
you're
but it's
allowed
not
to
equal.
have
It's not equal.
differences. You're allowed to be like, look, I don't agree with this. And
That's different.
That's where the adult comes in. Like, hey, let's discuss this. Let's come to an agreement. Let's decide together.
A compromise.
But
Yeah.
but you're saying something. You're saying two different things. I don't have to agree with you to respect your decision, and that's even in a marriage. Like me and my husband don't always agree with one another. I'd be like, all right, we just gotta agree to disagree. But if we're talking about it, like you got to give me maybe a example as far as agree to disagree. But if you're saying something with the kids, right? Because that's a good one. If you're saying, we got all girls, so it's like, I feel like our daughter should be able to date at the age of 16, and he's just like, nah, she's gonna wait till she's 17.
I feel like all decisions that go with children should be especially both of your decisions because both of you are the parents.
But it depends
Shouldn't
on
be one parent's decision over another.
So then it depends on your belief system. Because at the end of the day,
I believe
then that
both
we'll never
parents
agree.
have
Because
equal
for me, it's going to go
partnership.
God, the husband, me, the kids.
Yep,
So
that's where
what
we're
for
not
you said it's going to be no belief system, but my man and me.
Just because I don't believe in God doesn't mean that I don't believe that both parents have equal say in what goes on in their children's
Well,
lives.
it goes down to what we're saying as far as a man should lead.
And that's your point. I get it. And I see where you're coming from, but I see where it should be both people in the relationship leading together, not, I'm going to step in front of you and I'm going to tell you what to do.
But that's the thing.
It
If
should
you're
be
having a
compromised.
conversation with someone, right? Or you're having a conversation with your significant other, never in that conversation it's going
to
to
make a
say,
decision for me.
but that's the thing. He's not making a decision for you. He's making a decision for the family. Like once somebody said something to me couple weeks ago, I would say, and it made a lot of sense. He said, hey, if this falls down, if everything falls down in our house, they're not looking at you. They're going to be looking at me. Is that a true statement? According to society? Yeah, it will be. They'd be
There's a lot
like,
of
that man,
statements
they
for
lost that
society.
house because of that man. You will never be mentioned as the wife. Trust me. And we're just talking about society.
Because the family I live in definitely looks at the women. So it depends on where you come from.
So you're saying, I'm saying society, not individual circumstances.
But
We all got
also
individual.
depends on where you come from because I wasn't raised here. So what your views are is different than mine. I was raised on the East Coast.
I'm gonna
I was
hand it to
raised
you.
Over there.
Can I just maybe
Go ahead,
ask the
Renee.
question?
Go ahead,
Like,
I'm not trying to be rude.
No, I'm not taking it.
No,
We
we're
just-
having
I'm not taking it.
disagree. Yeah, that's fine.
so I get what you're saying is that, it's a partnership. Everyone can make their own rational decision. But let's just give an example. If you and I are holding hands, right, and there's a pole that's in between us, you want to go left, I'll go right. But at what point do we decide what decision to go for, when we're literally about to hit that pole already, so.
I just let go.
You just let go. Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna try this. Okay.
All right, it's on you.
All right. So
I get it that, sorry.
no, go ahead, Shamar.
I think like she was trying to say, it's a big, and both of them are actually trying to say, is that it's a big thing with your culture, with your beliefs, and how you were raised. And I think going back to what she was saying earlier is we're not having those hardcore conversations before we procreate.
Yes.
So we're jumping into bed with people in this hookup culture. Now we stuck in a situation and we don't like the other person. And so now there's nothing but conflict.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so now it's like you're interacting with somebody who has different belief systems than you. And the only thing you can do is try to make the best decision on behalf of the child involved, because you're not seeing eye to eye. You guys are from different backgrounds. You guys have different, upbringings, different beliefs. And it's not saying that one person is a bad person because they believe different than you. You just should have had that conversation
prior
before. Like, that's one of the main things now, especially when I'm 41 and all my kids are like, my youngest is 15.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, anytime I meet somebody, I'm like, do you want kids? Because we're done.
Yeah, that's not
You
going to
know
work.
what I mean?
For you.
And so it's like, especially if I meet somebody that doesn't have kids, or if you have younger kids, I'm like, do you want more kids? Like, you don't have kids at all. Is it a problem? You know what I mean? Like, that's a big conversation. And then it also comes into how were you raised? What belief systems you believe? 'Cause I'm not a very religious person. I believe in God. I believe in being a good human, but I'm not Catholic. I'm not Christian. I'm not running around with these specific things. Like, we got to go to church on Sundays and we have to do this and that. So I think if that is something that's very important to you, then it is very important for you to find somebody that has those same values as yourself. And if you're one of those open-minded people where it's not a problem, we'll figure it out. We can compromise because I really love you, even though you believe something completely different. You're already at a level where you can have these hard conversations and agree to disagree, like we were talking earlier.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a lot.
And
I think
find someone that believes that way.
And I think
that's why I haven't had any kids or still trying to find someone.
And I think nowadays, like how society, the world we live in, a lot of people are raised on single mothers and single households. So people don't know what it's like to see a man in a family setting that's leading. So we're all like just independent women, like we don't need no man and da 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 da. And so it's hard to even trust a person enough to even lead because we wasn't raised in that type of setting to even know. Some people don't even know who their dads are or this and that, and didn't even have a father figure in their life to even trust the man to even lead or anything. So it's just like, if you wasn't raised in that environment, how would you even know and be able to trust the man? You have to even learn how to trust a man. If you didn't have brothers, grow up in a household with just women, you don't even know what it's like to even trust a man, to even lead.
Also, you got to be sure of yourself too. Like you saying, like people grow up in fatherless homes. Okay, that's traumatizing, especially as little girls without fathers. You already got disappointed by the first man that was supposed to love you. You know what I mean? So it's definitely, if that's not dealt with, what happens is you meet a boy, depending on the age, a boy or a man, you know what I mean? And you're expecting him to be your dad, and you're expecting him to be your grandfather and your brother that wasn't there, and so on, so on, so on.
Or some people might grow up in households they have two moms.
Or they have divorce.
Or anything. So it's just like, just not having that foundation of having that one man that they even being able to trust a man outside of their regular life.
I think too, if I can bring up one more thing, is being raised on survival versus being raised on love.
Absolutely.
And thriving. It's like an example, and I'm going to say this just because I work in warehouse. When I have a clean, fresh pair of safety glasses, I can see clearly everything is exactly how it is. I wear those glasses and I get all this dust all over it, and maybe I drop them and they crack. Is my vision the same? No, my vision will never be the same as somebody who has a fresh pair of safety glasses. So that's how you got to think about it when you think about how people were raised. And that's why it's important to have these conversations, because you have these conversations first, you know the demons that you're dealing with and whether or not your demons are going to play nice together, or you're going to be at each other's throats. Because everybody comes with some baggage of some sort. Everybody has different life experiences, whether your parents were your first bully or your first cheerleader. right? Whether you had brothers and sisters, whether you had to fight for yourself, whether you didn't have a dad, whether you didn't have a mom. And then it goes into relationships. Like you said, you might be guys carry mommy issues, women carry daddy issues, and it just continues. And until you're really willing, I like the fact that you said you got to look at yourself too, is because we talk about self-love all the time, but we don't talk about self-trust. And that's the precursor for self-love.
Okay.
If you can't trust yourself, you don't love yourself. If you can't trust yourself to make good decisions about who you're getting involved with, you're always going to have problems because you're always going to be questioning the other person when you need to be learning and questioning yourself.
I feel like it always starts within because as an adult, you carry a lot of childhood traumas that you don't even realize until you get in a situation, and then you become that little girl or whatever from that whatever trauma you dealt with. And then a lot of times people bring that into their relationships. They bring that into the relationships because they haven't healed and loved themselves and got over whatever they went through. Even if it's something so small, you don't realize it until you become an adult and then realize, oh my God, that's triggering me and this and that and this and that. And then they carry that into relationships, and then there's no trust because you're all messed up. So it just goes on. It's just a cycle.
Okay, let me read some super chats real quick. Then we'll keep the conversation going. Can I get some podcasts? $5 super chat real quick. It said, men who have worked hard to become successful want women that are agreeable because they are looking for peace. Younger women may more easily offer that. Thank you so much. Can I get some podcasts? Also with another super chat. But if you both don't agree on something, someone has to make the final call. If you respect his judgment, you should defer to him. All right. Thank you so much. And he was referring to you talking like a woman successfully in 20 years in. All right. Yes. And he also said the woman in the V-neck spitting straight facts. All right. Shout out to you. Can I get some podcasts? I see Brian in the live chat. I see Infinite Lives, Mando, SSS. I see a lot of new names here in the live chat. Thank you so much. You guys already know what to do. Like and subscribe. And don't forget, this is a public podcast. So if you guys do want to hop on the podcast and join the discussion, as you guys can see, we're going back and forth on the discussion, whether we agree or disagree. That's what makes a great conversation and podcast. You guys can jump on the last hour. The link is in the description of the video. Join my locals and become a supporting member. And you guys can be able to jump on virtually from anywhere in the world where you are, laptop or your phone, and you can add on and be part of the conversation. Who wanted to add on? Was it you? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I agree with it about how someone has to make the final call. But some of us have two parents and still don't get that trust. You still have to figure it out. One parent will probably love you more if you're in that type of situation. And having a dad figure is awesome because it does help you learn about what kind of man should be or what you want a man to be. And then having a mom will teach you kind of her side of what a woman should be. And for me, who has two different homes and then two different families, it was where my parents, when they were together, they both had the views. And then they changed throughout when they got older and they got different families. But one of them went completely different, where the views are completely different, where my mother is more, she likes the guy to lead all the time, which is okay. But you change your views when you get older. Sometimes you want to relax. Sometimes you're like, I don't want to take control anymore. I want to let him take it for me. Then that's okay. And then when you're younger, you want to kind of be like, I want to take control too. But I feel for me, if it's like in the end of the day and we're both making decisions and it's about maybe moving or how we're going to get this income coming in, and he has a better plan, I want him to take it. And then I'll always be there for that. But if I have a plan and then I'm putting this into your plan, then that's where we meet.
Yeah. Okay.
Can
go ahead.
I just say something? I feel like a lot of men don't get credit. And so I feel like ladies or you guys, I feel like we should show appreciation to our mans. If they're taking the lead of, let's just say, washing the dishes, putting it away, and all that stuff. Like, just give them a thank you. You know, like encouragement goes a long way. I don't want to compare us humans to like animals, but like, for example, if the dog is doing a trick that you want them to do, you're gonna reward that good behavior. So likewise, if your man is doing something, or your woman, whoever, whatever you identify as, if they are doing something that you like, please show like how much you appreciate them. In the end, it's like, life is too short. You never know when you're going to see your significant other, your mom, your dad, your brother, sister. Show people how much you love them.
And I want to talk about the text that we got in the on YouTube, but being somebody's piece. I feel like it goes both ways, not just a man wanting a woman to be the piece. A woman wants the man to be a piece too, because the whole point of being in a relationship is to have that person where you can, you know, you're having a hard day and they could just relax you and be your piece, not make your life more chaos. So I think it goes both ways. Like, women want men to be their piece, and men want women to be their piece.
I say you have to be at peace with yourself, please.
No, you do, but when it comes to relationships.
And I'm at peace with myself, then there's no problems. But what you don't want to come home to is World War III in the living room, right? So it's like, you want to come home to a peaceful household, but you have to be at peace with yourself. You're not responsible for somebody else's peace. You're not responsible for their happiness. Now, when it comes to a relationship or a marriage, and you're cohabitating, then yes, there's multiple moving parts, and sometimes you're going to be 100%, sometimes you're going to be 200% to pick up for your partner. You have to be able, if you love somebody and you're building a life together, then yes, you're going to be that person to help support them. But that's not being their piece. You don't want to come home to World War III, right? You've got enough stress going on in the world, both of you. Your kids are at school, you're working and whatnot. You want to come home and be able to have a calm conversation about whatever issues, even if it's an obstacle and it's a really messed up situation. You want to come home and be able to talk about it without fighting, accusing, and arguing.
That's your piece.
But that's what she's saying. That is the piece. You know, at the end of the day, if I don't like you, you already a problem. I didn't have a hard day at work, and now I'm coming home. Me and you don't get along. You always complaining, or I'm always complaining. It's like, yeah, you already not my piece, and I'm not in a rush to come home and then see our kids running all around, and then you all over the place, or you got an attitude because we didn't discuss, you know, our argument from 5 days ago. I think that's what she means as far as being a piece. You know what I mean? And I think in order to have that peace, you have to have great communication, and also you have to have I say a friendship. Like, people always ask me, like, oh, when it comes down to your husband, you're always smiling, or you always doing this. And it's just kind of like, well, we got a lot of different hats. It's not just, oh, it's him and then it's me. I'm the wife, he's the husband. It's more so like, we're friends. You know what I mean? And he's my husband. He's my boyfriend too. Like, play on that. Friendship. So people be like, oh, you always want to just hang around your husband. But it's like, no, he was my friend yesterday. We was just kicking it. Like, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like, that is peace. Sometimes when you are amped up, the only person you want to see is your partner if that partner is your piece. But if you know this partner is going to tick you off, it's just like, yeah, let me just go do other things. Let me go to the gym. And if you're going in the negative aspect, most people say, what? Let me go to the bar. Let me go drink. Or you go tell someone else your problems.
Right. Exactly.
I just wanted to, before we move on the conversation, I just wanted to respond to you. But as always, on the live chat, thank you so much. All you guys on the live chat, you guys are killing it on the live chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget, if you want your voice to be heard, drop it through a super chat. If you have a question or topic, I'll be able to read it on the screen, and I'll respond to you guys. I know you disagreed with the idea about leadership, that a man should lead a woman, right? So I asked you, the first question you would ask is, do you want a leader? And I think I asked most women here, they said they wanted a leader.
I feel like you need to know how to lead yourself before you can let anyone else lead you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay.
Because you can let the wrong man lead you down the wrong path.
Yeah, well,
which has happened many times.
Okay, so if you want a man to be a leader, right? And I've heard from you, you said that you wanted to make decisions partnership. And the partnership term is something that you hear today in modern day dating. Women would say, I want a partnership, but at the same time, you want a leader. Those are two conflicting definitions of the word, because a leader the definition of leader is only one person leading. There is no 2 or 3 people, right? There's only one leader leading the relationship. Okay, but the
relationship like that though.
But the question you want to ask yourself is that what you want, right? If you don't want that, that's fine. But then a lot of women would say, I don't want a leader. I want a partnership. We have to discuss things to make decisions. We both make the decisions. All right. But here's my. I want to ask you this question. If you're at your house and somebody breaks into your house,
But you keep bringing up these situations with physical altercations.
So let's just give you
expecting me to be like, oh, I'm so weak and frail.
No,
because I'm coming too.
No.
I have defended myself without a man. It is nicer to have a man to defend me, but I've also been in situations where I've had a man who I thought would defend me, and he did nothing.
Well, you had a part.
I had to defend myself. That's where it comes in. You give the wrong man leadership of you.
That he wasn't a leader though.
So let me ask you this question. Okay, so say in your house, a man breaks in, he wants to physically assault you, and the man that you're with, your partner, your boyfriend, right? He turns to you and says, "Hey, babe, let's discuss this."
This is where you keep bringing up things that are.
Just answer this question.
That's not even what would go through your head if that's in this scenario. Your first instinct would be as both to defend each other and yourself.
The first instinct of a masculine man will not even ask you that question. See, that's the difference. See, what I'm trying to explain to you is a lot of women say, I want a partnership. But if you a partnership will entail that the man is not going to lead. So when situations come, whether it's physical, financial, when life gets hard, that man doesn't have the skills to take over and lead. Leaders do that. Mm-hmm. He will look for you as a woman, depend on you to fix the problems, but that's what you sign up for. So if you want a leader that's willing to make decisions,
fix my problems.
Well, if
I need a man to stand beside me while I fix my problems.
So what I'm trying to say is, if you're in a situation and the man breaks into your house and physically assaults you, right, and he turns to you and asks you for advice, like, what should we do? Are you going to lose respect and attraction to the man? Yes or no?
100%.
Yeah. But I think that's
not how it would go.
No, I'm just saying.
We both know it.
I'm just saying is if he turns around to you and says, "Hey, what should we do with this?" Are you going to
Why does all your comparisons come back to physical altercations?
Okay, I'll do another one right here. Okay, bills come in. The bills come in, and you guys have a lot of bills to pay. He doesn't feel he can't pay it, so he looks to you and you know what?
We discussed it.
We discuss it.
Yeah.
All right, and he's looking for you to, you know what? I don't want to pay for this. I think you should pay it.
And if I had the money, I would pay it.
Okay, what if you don't?
Partnership.
But what if you don't have the money?
You got me.
But what if you don't have the
Then we
money?
figure it out.
Okay, but what if he says?
What if he has the money and he's still saying, "Well, babe, the rent is due. You got your $1,500."
Then I figure it out.
But that's the thing. Would you even want to be? Would you want to be?
I'm also a mother, so I will figure it out.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I'm sorry.
So say the bills come in,
it's
right?
It's okay to disagree. I don't agree with you, and that's fine.
No, that's fine.
Try to convince me to agree.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying
We're just asking you to keep it a buck. That's all it is.
So what I'm saying is, okay, so the bills come in, and you guys can't afford it right now, right? So it would require both of you guys to go out there and hustle and to pay the bills. But the guy's like, I don't want to hustle. It's too much. It's too overburdening for me.
It's just not a partnership.
Okay, what I'm saying is, if the man turns to you, it's like, you know what, this is too much for me. I don't want to go out there and work. I don't know how to pay those bills. I don't know how to do it. And would you still be attracted to that man? And would you respect that man? Yes or no?
If that man was having a hard time and there was medical reasons behind it,
there's no medical reasons. He's healthy. He's completely healthy.
Then I wouldn't respect him. No.
Exactly.
I get it. But my point is, I don't need someone to lead me. That's my point.
But
I need someone to stand beside me, and let's do this together. That's where your views are different than mine.
No.
I was raised by a single mother who was both my father and my mother.
Okay.
And she did it all on her own. Didn't need a man.
But did she want to do it on her own?
But she had men.
But I know.
I'm not saying she didn't. No. Get someone.
Every woman that I know that's handling
with that man.
Every woman that I know that's handling business on their own, if they had the choice, and we're talking about to have a good man, not just any man with the bullshit.
Chose to be single.
So she didn't want a man.
She didn't want a man.
Okay. And I grew up in the same situations. Like I grew up When my mom and dad separated, I grew up with my mom, and her dude stayed down the street. They never lived together.
But it could be fair because she didn't want nothing to happen to her daughter.
But I had siblings by them, they had kids and everything. So it's just like, that's what she chose to do in her life. She likes her independence, where she wants to deal with him when she wants to deal with him. And then when she doesn't want to deal with him, she doesn't want to deal with him.
So understand,
so
we always talk about there's always going to be somebody, you know what I mean? I think the podcast is speaking as a whole though. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's just, like she says, it just depends on how you were raised and your viewpoints, because you might not,
and
you might look at things differently because it's just like, you feel like, okay, yeah, I want a man to do this and that for me, but I that's all I want from him. I don't need him to do this, that, and that for me, because I'm cool with that.
You know what you're doing, and like I said, you have your opinion, which is fine. I just find holes in your opinion, and I think there's contradictions. You're picking and choosing what you want.
That's not an opinion then. You can't find holes in someone's opinion. It's just my opinion.
No, because what you're saying is, that's why I told you before. If you ask most women, they would want a man to lead.
But I'm not most women. I'm just me.
Oh, okay. That's fine. But what I said is, you said that you wanted a leader, and then also you said if the situation when the man can't step up, you will immediately lose attraction and respect for it. You said that.
Okay, but would a man lose attraction in a woman who can't step up and do her
We're talking
own
about
thing?
leadership here. That's the
Okay,
topic.
but a woman can be a leader too.
No,
A woman can be just as much a leader in a relationship and it still be attractive.
So if a man attacked you, you want to be the leader in that situation, or do you want the man to lead?
I've been in that situation, and I have.
I'm not saying you. I know you've been, but what do you prefer? Do you prefer you to handle your own physical abuser, or do you want your man to fight for you and defend for you? What do you prefer?
I just feel like you keep coming back to these physical altercations.
No, I'm asking you a genuine question. If a man,
I've already answered this question. Though.
Yes.
Yes, I would want my man to be a man and step up and say, no, you're not going to put your hands on my woman.
Yes.
But as a woman, I can also defend myself in case of emergencies. I'm not some
I understand.
helpless little girl.
I understand.
Which is what you keep coming back to.
I'm not saying.
That's not what he's coming back to.
All it just keeps coming back to physical altercations with me. And I
I'm
get
just
it.
we can use different
My
examples.
opinion is different than yours.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I think it should be a partnership. I think it should be 50-50. We should walk this path together. We should want to walk this path together.
Yeah.
We should agree on the same things. We should agree on how our kids are made. And if we don't agree, let's talk it out. Let's work it out. And if
Yeah.
we can't work it out, then let's go our separate ways.
Yeah.
We don't have to do this. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have any more kids. I don't want a relationship.
Yeah.
I want to be single. That's my choice. That's it.
Yeah. So that's fine. Like I said, I'm just disagreeing with you because, like I said, you're saying something you agree with, but I disagree because what you're saying is I want to have partnership. I want to talk about certain things. But if the man, if he's not fulfilling his partnership with the role, then you're going to lose attraction and respect for him.
And if she's not fulfilling her part of the role, if she can't have sex for some reason for a long period of time, because after you give birth, can't have
No,
sex.
I'm
for
just talking
6
specifically
months or
about
longer.
leadership.
And some men lose interest in women just because of that, for their inability to have sex with them after giving birth.
No, okay, I don't want to talk about that part. We're just about leadership. So what I'm saying is, women, like women would say, I want a man.
Women for that.
No, I want a man to lead, but at the same time, I also want a partnership. And then when the man comes to you to discuss something that he doesn't want to do, there's a consequence for that. You're gonna say, look, because a partnership entails that you guys have to talk about certain things, all things.
I never said there would be a consequence. It's just,
Well, the consequence
let's
is
discuss it.
if you discuss,
You lost respect.
You
That
lost
was the
respect. That's the
consequence.
consequence. You lost respect and attraction for the man for the fact that he even discussed with you
No.
to whether he's going to defend your honor for the man that's going to physically assault you. So that's why your
I just feel
perspective
like you're
is
twisting everything I'm saying.
no, it's your ideas are contradicting. That's why.
No, I feel like you're twisting it.
So I think there's a miscommunication. And what I think is that it's not necessarily, I think we talked about this before, is how we don't necessarily lose respect for a man that can't provide and can't do things. The problem is whether or not he's willing to move his own 2 feet.
Exactly.
So And I had this conversation a couple weeks ago with somebody else where somebody said, I don't want to Build-A-Bear. And I'm like, I don't mind to Build-A-Bear. But look, this is the caveat here, right? The leader in the relationship still needs to have a plan and still needs to be willing to move their feet. So you can come to me and you can say, hey, I don't know what to do about this. That's called being best friends. That's called being each other's piece, as you guys are using that term. I'm not a fan of using the peace word, but I can get down with it because you want to have that best friend. That's somebody that you can talk to. That's somebody that you can be vulnerable with the most secret things you don't want the rest of the world to know. You need to have that one person that I can come to and I could tell you, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. Hey, I don't like this. Hey, I don't know what to do. And then you have those discussions. Now, at the same time, if your man is not willing to move his feet and you're the only one hustling, then yeah, at that point, I'm going to lose total respect. If I'm hustling my ass off and you're sitting on the couch and sleeping, well, you know what I mean, and not carrying out your part of the deal, you know, what we agreed to progress the family together, then yeah, it becomes a problem at that point, just like it would for, like, let's say a man that wants children, and that's where she's trying to bring it up about the giving birth part, is if a man wants children and the woman can't have kids for whatever reason, that could be a potential issue in the relationship. That's where now we have surrogates coming in. Now we have all these IVF treatments, because it would be the same thing. If you want kids and your woman can't have kids for whatever reason, doesn't mean you don't love her any less, but are you going to stay in that relationship, or are you going to find a way to work it around? And if she's not willing to participate in these treatments, if she's not willing to hire a surrogate, that's still going to be a problem for the men too. So that's where I think it's just a miscommunication, because you guys are both trying to communicate the same thing.
No, we're not. No, we're not communicating the same thing
at all. What I got was, and correct, please. Yeah. What I got was, the question was, do you want a man that lead? Everybody at the table said yes, including Robin. She said yes, but Robin also made it clear, I want someone that's going to be 50-50. It's going to be a partnership, 50-50.
And that's why I said leadership is a strong word to use, because I don't want someone to lead me. I want someone to walk beside me.
Okay. So side note.
We can make decisions together.
So side note, he said, okay, well, if someone broke in or whatever, and do you want your man to sit there and be like, hey, babe, they just broke in, they want you. Should I let them take you, or how you want to do it? You know, she said, oh, I wouldn't respect the man that did that. But remind you, you're picking and choosing when you want the partnership to go together. That's why he's saying you contradicted.
No, I'm not.
So elaborate.
Because if someone breaks into a man's home, that man's gonna defend it, whether there's a woman in that home.
That's not necessarily true. A masculine man will defend it at all costs.
Okay, and women can still be attracted to men who are feminine.
And they do, but that wasn't the question.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm about to just.
No, we talking and we hear you.
I don't feel like you are talking. You're just trying to get your point across.
It's not a point across. It's a clarity.
You just keep bringing up altercations and saying, "Oh, I'm wrong because
I never said you were wrong. You feel like you're wrong."
No, I just don't like how you guys keep coming back to this. That is nothing.
We're just I'm asking you to elaborate. If you're going to say something, stand on.
How
That's
much
what we're sitting
more
here saying.
can I elaborate? I want a partnership. You want someone to tell you what to do. That's good. I respect that. I don't want that. I want someone who's going to be like, hey, do we want to buy this house together? Is this what we want? Do we want to have more kids?
So time out. Do you think that
But if it comes down to someone breaking into my house, yeah, I would want a man to be like, yes, you're worth saving, not let me jump out the window. Because if it was vice versa, I would save my man too.
And Robin, I hear you, but I'm going to say
Coming from someone who has saved other people's lives before, who were not just men, I've been in situations that test every fiber of your being.
She needs some Kava.
No, I'm so annoyed that you guys keep coming back to this for what? You want me to elaborate, and then when I do, you say what? I'm what?
No, you're mad because we're not agreeing with you.
And you're mad because I don't agree with you.
We're not mad. Listen, I'm as cool as can be.
Move on with the conversation.
Okay, let's move on because she can't hear.
Yeah,
that's all.
It's
I
fine.
got it.
No,
it's fine.
because I don't.
I just
agree
feel
with
like
you.
the situation with the whole robbery thing, like the type, I'm a more masculine female.
Okay.
So in that situation, we all come in guns blazing, the
No,
kids,
no,
everything.
Now listen, I hear you on that. I hear you on that. But what I would say is a masculine man is gonna say, hey, no, babe, hold on.
Yeah,
Go get the kids because listen, if the
I
robber shoot
understand
both of us,
that.
the kids are gone.
I understand that. A
That makes
masculine
sense.
man will do that.
Reacting to
But
the
it's like
situation.
when you in a situation where you have a masculine man and a masculine woman, she's gonna be like, I got your back too.
No,
Let's get them.
Listen, don't think I'm not about it because I'm about it by all means. I'm being nice right now.
But I'm saying but in the situation, you do want your partner to be like, hold on, let me save you.
No, absolutely.
And let me handle
but
this.
not even just that. Your partner, your man is going to say, or your masculine, your partner, she's not going to tell you to come with her. I could look at her and tell you. She's not going to tell. She's going to say, go get them damn kids. That's it. Period.
But she knows me.
Yeah, because you hard-headed. You want to go get them. But what I'm sitting there saying is, understand what she's saying.
If there's something right here and I'm closer to it, I want him to grab the kids and I'm gonna go defend. But if he's closer, then he's defending. It just depends on like the situation and whose mindset goes first.
Okay.
No, I don't disagree.
My mindset going there, I'm going in.
What we're saying is just what a masculine man is going to say.
Yeah.
Get what I'm saying?
But in that situation, you do want your partner to be like,
I'm gonna
I'm gonna save the day. Put the cape on.
Yeah, if he's gonna save it and he doesn't,
Yeah. Like, don't think so literal. If we're downstairs, if somebody break in, I'm downstairs, I'm not gonna be like, hey, let me go upstairs and go. Listen, you're going down. You came in, you're not making it out. So what we're sitting here saying is if we're both upstairs, we're in the same room, same spot, and my husband's gonna say, go get them damn kids. That's it.
Yeah,
because
you
at the
want
end of
them
the day,
to hit the cape on and say
and we're gonna say, grab your gun and be prepared in case it comes up too.
Yeah.
But we can't both be downstairs. Like, yeah, what's going on? You know what I mean?
yeah, the other person's gonna have the gun and be like with the children,
And
then
that's
that
my
person will
point.
be the first.
Not
play.
everybody
So
has a
someone
gun.
will
Well,
be
listen,
here.
I got
You can grab something, a bat or something. A fork, a spoon, something. You can grab something.
You come in my house, you're not making it out. I promise you.
Grab the plastic.
You gonna grab
You're gonna
something.
make a weapon out of something. Like I currently remember when she used to have the butter sock.
So, ladies, I love the enthusiasm. I love the enthusiasm, but we gotta face the reality and the facts here. Men are biologically bigger, stronger, and faster than women. It's easy for you guys to sit here to say that I would fight a man until a 6'4", 250-pound man comes in here.
A lot of us
You're gonna
have.
look. I promise you,
This is why
if you
I
had a
love
man,
wrestling.
I promise you, if you had a man, whether it is feminine or
There are a
masculine.
lot of men who run away from other men.
I know.
And women.
I understand.
So,
But if you had a partner, a 6'4", 250-pound man, I promise you guys will not be enthusiastic as it is right now to fight that man. You will look to your man. What are you gonna do? And I promise you, if he doesn't step up, you will lose respect and you will lose sexual attraction for him. None of you guys will want to fight a 6'4", 250-pound man.
Not by choice.
Not by choice. Absolutely
Not by choice. Not by
If you're with a
choice.
partner, if you're in a relationship with a partner,
that
you
goes both
expect
ways.
100% of women.
I mean, yeah, as
Exactly.
a woman, we want to be saved. We want the superhero thing, you know? We want our Superman.
If you're with a masculine man, it's not even a discussion. All right, he tells you, I got this, go get the kids, find a way out, I'm gonna handle this. If you're with a partnership type of man or feminine man, that's gonna, you guys have to talk about
see,
it.
you look at partnership as feminine. You term those together.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes.
No, it's not. It's called being mature and an adult and a grown up.
No, we can disagree
When you
with that.
can, discuss things together.
I just don't like the fact that you say
opinion matters
masculine man
more.
and feminine man. It's just some men just ain't built like this.
Yeah, that's
And that's what it all boils down to. And sometimes as a female, you might know that your man is not built like that. So in certain situations,
Yeah.
like,
You know.
I'm telling you,
Put it like this:
Go ahead.
you ain't dating nobody that's Yeah, you're just not. I know you're not. You talk about
But
personality.
sometimes you don't know until you get in a situation.
True.
That's the 100%.
You don't know.
I don't.
Now, I'm just saying is masculine men, they prefer to be in a leadership position.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said
I'm sorry.
masculine men prefer to be in a leadership position.
Yeah, absolutely.
Masculine men,
Absolutely.
if the man wants a partnership and wants to let the woman make decisions, I will not consider that masculine. That means he's submitting to you to handle his role in certain situations, and then for me, that's feminine. A masculine man doesn't submit. A feminine man will submit to you and willing to let you take over. That's the difference. That's why I stand by that standpoint.
But also, I want to touch on something because Robin said something that was really important. I know she's probably mad at me right now. But listen, I really heard you. Trust me. You said you want a man, if he wants to go get a house, you want him to come talk to you and say, hey, babe, I want to get this house. What do you think about it? And, do you care to have more children? Blah, 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 right? Like you want that man to come to you and say that, right? Yes. We still beefing?
So to that point, I feel like that's also like what a leader does, because if you think about
and that's
it,
what I was gonna say.
Like, your leader or whoever, let's say like your manager, they're gonna come and ask you for your opinions.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it's kind of like, like they are like, or that's just the way I see it. It's like a leader, they'll ask for your opinion to get your perspective too. So
that's what we talked about.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to clarify, because she made the statement. I'm just kind of like, well, I hope you picked up on my personality, that I'm not one to just sit there and be like, you want to do what? Okay. Like, I'm always in my opinion. You know what I mean? But
I said mine.
Yeah, true. Which is okay. Like I said, we can agree.
Perfectly fine.
We can agree.
Yeah, but I feel like in a relationship, it always has to be that dominant partner.
Mm-hmm. And when you're dealing with two dominant people,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's no such thing as two dominant people. One has to submit to one.
Yeah.
One is
I believe that I'm a dominant person, but I definitely submit to my husband.
There's no such thing as two equal dominant.
Yeah.
One has to be dominant. The
Absolutely.
other.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a level.
That's what I'm saying is, if you're a partnership and you're more
You
dominant
want
than the
somebody
man,
that's going to have your back through no matter what.
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
There needs
To me,
be a
it's
man
all
to
about
be
the
able to
team,
submit to
being
you
a
as well.
good team player.
Yeah.
And having the whole teammate. Like, we know we in this together. So if I let you lead, I'm gonna trust you that you're in it for the right reasons for the team.
So absolutely.
Coach Shamar.
Why you take the hub?
Well, no, I just have a problem with the I'm letting you lead thing, and the reason I say that is because
who said that?
She's such a team player. I'm gonna let you lead.
In certain situations,
What
yes.
I will say is, with how much I work, because again, I've been separated since 2011. My divorce wasn't final until 2013. That's a long time. I've been single, the only income supporting my whole household. When I choose a man, I want time off. You need to lead. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
so you want a leader.
You want that leader to where I can rest now. I've put in my work. I got your back through no matter what we're going through. But at the end of the day, I do want somebody that I can submit to. Not like you. It's just the wording maybe that I was having there's certain words that are like trigger points, I guess you
Well,
could say.
submitting is a trigger word because some people look at it as a bad thing.
And it's not.
Yeah.
You want that.
You should go both ways. As a woman, just as much as a woman should feel comfortable to submit to him.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't make her feel comfortable to submit to him, how is she going to submit?
Probably no relationship for me.
And if I don't feel like you're submitting to me, I'm not going to submit anything to you. And coming from a person who has done sub and dom, I've been in both scenarios. And I'm not submitting to someone who does not make me feel comfortable enough to be in that position.
Okay.
But again, it comes back to your discernment and your choices.
Yes.
So we can't put it off like all men are bad all women aren't submitting. We're all wanting to be independent because even the most independent females, you're doing what you have to do to survive.
Mhm.
But are you thriving? Are you happy?
Is your mind together?
And so
happiness.
so what you want is somebody, that best friend that you can lean on and be like, hey, this sucks. How are we going to get out of it? You know what I mean? Because if you can't have those conversations, those really difficult conversations, then you shouldn't be in a relationship with that person in the first place.
Absolutely not.
You're not going to feel comfortable submitting to somebody that you can't have these hard discussions with.
Yeah, it all boils down to
Oh,
communication.
I agree 100%.
It
You
all
should
boils
never
down.
put your peace and your happiness in somebody else. If you're not happy and peaceful by yourself, the relationship is not going to help you.
Exactly.
It's going to test you 1,000% the opposite direction because it's like a mirror. It's gonna show everything, like everything that you're usually upset with in your relationship is triggering something that you still need to heal within yourself.
Yeah, and that's what comes with the trauma you have to heal with.
Therapy is important.
Yes, it
deal with
is.
your shadow work, people.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, don't be trauma dumping on your partner and expecting them to be
And then don't
bodybuilder
get
and
in a
fix
new
your problems.
relationship and bring your old relationship problems in your new relationship.
And then, like, I feel like we're putting gender on energy, masculine, feminine. Everybody has both energies. Again, I could see the partnership perspective. Just coming from my POV, it's like in the end, I grew up with a Christian household, and I believe that I believe that men should be the leaders. Yes.
Okay.
And
All
that's
right.
your belief, and I respect that.
Thank you.
Okay.
High five, girl.
Jamie used to super chat. How are we all demons?
Where is it?
No, because honestly, we all have baggage. We all have triggers.
You're like,
No, like all demons.
Y'all all demons. Why are we demons? Let's talk about that. Why are we
I
demons?
just want to add the fact,
Lord.
because I know you mentioned that I want a man to submit to me. If you want a masculine man, no masculine man that wants to be a leader is not going to submit to no woman. So if you end up with a man, if a man is submitting to you, he is not in his masculine.
I feel like submitting is
Okay,
such a
what's
strong
your
word. I feel like
definition
this can
of
be
a dominant man? Let's go from there because I'm
Let
confused.
me use a different word. So submitting that's less triggering for women would be willful cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
So when you find a man that has proven to you that you can trust to lead you, he provides for you, protects you, right? You're going to trust him to lead you, all right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me, like I told you guys before, there's always going to be one more dominant person than the other.
Yes.
No dominant masculine man that's a leader is going to willingly cooperate to you, because that defeats the definition of his role, which is I'm the leader. I'm not cooperating to you. You're cooperating to me because I've proven to you that you can trust me to make decisions, and I'm going to prove to you every single day. So there's any man that's going to submit to you. He is not. I would say that's a feminine man. But
And there's nothing wrong with that because you have both male and female inside of you.
there's
Why do you think you have nipples?
there's
You started out as a female.
so you're going sidetrack. You're moving somewhere
Having
else.
some sort of femininity in the inside of you, be able to coexist with the opposite gender that you're trying to build a life with, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
That's not that has nothing to
There's
do with what I just
nothing
said.
wrong with wanting
We
to
all have nipples.
coexist.
That has really nothing to do with what
You
I said.
just keep bringing up masculinity like it's this top trophy that men need to aim for. Let's be more masculine, bro. No, maybe bring some femininity into your life, and maybe then you'll see more females' perspectives and how they view things. Because not all women want a man who can be like, we're gonna do this today, and we're gonna go do this right now, and this.
I just want to know your definition of what. That's what I said. Just hit your definition of what a masculine man is versus a feminine man.
That's just what it is.
That's what we have to explain.
We're just fine.
Because everybody has their own different opinions on what a masculine man means and what a feminine man means.
Exactly. And you have a different opinion on what being a feminine man means. And it doesn't mean like, oh, I'm girly and I'm going to wear pink and purple. And if you want to wear pink, that's cool. Go for it. That doesn't mean, it just means you're more open
Barbie
to the opposite
Caesar.
gender.
We all
You're
have
more
nipples.
receptive. You're not closed-minded and thinking like a caveman, which is how I'm coming off.
It's not about necessarily being closed-minded. It's just learning how different genders and different, based on your upbringing, how you people operate differently. Because again, we all have feminine and masculine energy, right? And what you tap into the most is based on your experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So when you learn that men are more logical, men are not going to go based on feelings like most females.
Yes, that's a fact.
100%. If you go to your man like, I feel, he's like, what? What are you talking about? What's feelings?
Well,
Like, just
it
be
depends
honest.
on the man.
Most
Because some men are
do not
emotional.
relate.
I know some of
A lot of men are emotional. They
Yeah.
just show it
But
differently.
They show it a lot. But you're more likely to get whatever you're trying to communicate across if you say, hey, babe, what do you think? Versus, how do you feel?
Yeah.
If you say, how do you feel? You're going to get a mixed response of whatever, because that's not how
You said from the man or the woman?
For masculine men,
Okay.
right?
Yeah,
Our typical masculine men that we've been talking about, they're not tapping into how do you feel type questions. If you say, hey, babe, what do you think about this? They're going to have a solution, or they're going to be brainstorming with you to find one. Now, most of the time, and I'm speaking from hearing masculine men talk to their wives on the phone. Hey, babe, how do you feel about this? What's your gut's telling you? Men come to women when they want to tap into feelings on things because they already know what they think. I already know I think this and this and that, but how do you feel about it? They're going to defer to you when it comes to feelings, and you defer to them when it comes to what do you think? You're supposed to complement each other, not fight each other. It's like we were talking about the partnership, the best friend, it's a compliment because you both are in your power in different ways. And if you can't come together and both stand in your own power, women are supposed to be more feminine. Men are supposed to be more masculine. We operate
But you
differently.
both have both.
Correct. But in an ideal situation where you are not growing up and trying to just survive, we all want to get to the point where we're thriving in life and everybody's happy and we're doing well. You don't want to stay in a trauma state of survival your whole life. You have to learn to coexist in how other people operate. Just because you operate a certain way, you have to learn how to communicate it and understand other people's point of view, even if it's different from yours. And I think that's where we came into it with the hookup culture being a problem. Everybody's jumping into bed, we're having kids, and then wait a minute, we don't even like each other. We have two totally different opinions on everything. So it's constant conflict because nobody, like I run all my co-parenting like a business. Seriously, like as long as the kids are cool, I don't care anything else. Like my children's fathers were never even on child support. You pay for what's going on at your house, I pay for what's going on at my house, because we both now have two households to keep together. And when there's a big bill or something that needs to, we have a discussion. But you learn how to coexist, you learn how to co-parent, you learn how to work together. Even if our interpersonal relationship, our marriage was a catastrophe, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, we have, now how are we going to get these kids into a better place than where we came from? At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Okay.
And I understand that, but that's dealing with in a mature situation. The times we're living in an immature society. So people do not look at it like that. It's about going viral, about doing this to make a reaction and then recording this. We live in a whole different time than, we did back in the day. So people's mind frames are not as mature as other people, So if
Are
you're
you
thinking
talking
about
co-parenting or just in general?
Co-parent in general, period. It's just like we live in a whole different time. So a lot of people that are older, we're more mature, so we're thinking in a different mindset. But if we grew up in the world that is going on today, like anybody 30 and up that's lived in the time of social media, where everything is on blast, on this, on that, relationship values are down. Like nobody's communicating. We're communicating through text messages, through social media, through this, through that. We're not talking with one another. We're not getting to know one another. So it's different. Dating is totally different. Like, I don't like if I was in a relationship, I don't even know if I can even last. Like my patience is just so thin. Like I wouldn't even be able to last in the whole dating world because for a simple fact, people don't even talk to one another.
Right,
We don't talk to each other. We text. So it's just like before I was even in my situation, it was like when I was dating, it was just like a lot of times we don't even talk on the phone. It's like texting. Like I'm not about to text you,
but do you
10 million strings or this or that. Like I just feel
wait, real question.
I'm a talker.
Do you feel like that's how you set it up though? Do you feel like that's where you set the bar?
No, I just feel like when you meet people nowadays, a lot of people do not communicate at all. Communication is out.
No. But what I'm sitting here saying is, all right, let me real quick because I know we pushing time.
Yeah.
I'm saying like I seen a post, right? And in the post it said like choose what you want. You know what I mean? As far as you want somebody that's funny, God fearing, somebody.
No,
that's...
I put my foot down and say what I want.
Right, but what I'm sitting there saying is, hold on. It was 10 qualities and people were only choosing 3, meaning people were willing to settle for 3 instead of saying, no, I want somebody with all 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I feel like what happens is we tolerate people. You know, at times it's not a match for you. If this is somebody that only want to text you and they don't want to be on the phone, it's not a match for you.
Exactly.
But because we feel like we need somebody, I'd rather have somebody than have nobody. I'm not
the type of person where I feel like I need somebody because I
didn't mean you directly.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying you have to learn how to be okay by yourself first.
Yes.
When you okay by yourself and then you start dating, then it works better for you.
I agree.
You get better results.
I agree.
But when you feel like, oh, I need this person, oh, I'm just going to settle for this, even though they only check one thing on my checklist, it's like you have to build yourself up before you start dating. And then that's when all this that we're talking about, leading, a man leading and all that kind of stuff, that's where all that falls in hand, you know? So it's just like, but nowadays, the dating world is all fucked up because people do not communicate at all. Yeah. They just text, go through this whole social media. Oh, what's your Instagram? And da-da-da-da. Oh, you like this person. Like, what the fuck? I might have liked their outfit. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean I'm flirting or anything like that. But that's the world we live in.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just gonna say with communication, there has to be like that comprehension too. You know, people need to understand how to comprehend the communication portion, and I think that's what a lot of people lack on. You know, to comprehend where the communication going or what the communication.
Yeah,
is,
and you can't do that with texting because
then they kind of read it wrong.
Yeah,
they really know
exactly because you might feel it that some way like, oh, they trying to get at me, and really they're not like that.
Yeah, no, and the thing is, it's the same even in relationships. So, you know what I mean? Like you can perceive something so different in a text message than somebody being on the phone.
But it's better for you to actually talk with one another.
Absolutely.
And then be face to face and talk to someone.
That
way you can see their body expressions, their demeanor.
Yeah. And one word can mean like different things. You could say hey, but you could also say hey, like I don't want to talk to you. There's 2 different heys. In text messages, if I text you and I say hey, and then you text me, hey, I don't want to talk to you, I'm just responding.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it could be either ways.
And in the end, I think that's the important nowadays of community and building with one another. Don't be afraid to say hi to one another. Say, how are you doing?
Smile.
And genuinely care about how they are doing, you know? If you're not feeling good and you just say, fine, okay, I'm gonna take it as you're fine.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then again, it goes back to being cognizant, being able to read the room.
But you can't do that with text.
Right, exactly. And again, that's because of how society has been geared towards to. And so I was going to backtrack a little bit. It's like going to what he's saying, like biologically, men have been known as the providers, the protectors, and we as women are the ones to, nurture them biologically. But because of, let's just say, different times and what, for example, our grandparents had to go through. Maybe they had learned different survival tactics, which in turn have been passed down to us as generations. And it is up to us. It's not up to us to fix our parents, to fix our grandparents. It is up to us to fix our problems now and carry out for a better future, for a better society that we want to see next. And that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, everybody in the live chat. I appreciate everybody here. I see. Oh, Damien jumped on as a guest. I see you, Damien.
Oh, Lord.
They call us the devil? Okay, Damien, why are we devils? Well, let's answer that
All right. So
question.
Damien, let me. I'll bring you. I'll bring you pretty soon. So let me just ask one more question, and then I know we were sharing opinions about the conversation was about through leadership. All right. So I just want to drop some facts because I think the reason why we have a lot of
Friction.
friction and we disagree on a lot of the things because today what I do see is there's this concept and this narrative that men and women are the same.
Exactly.
And that's why we have this friction because we think that we are the same. We are different biologically. Right? But I'm not saying that we're unequal as far as being human, but we're different biologically, so we have different roles. And the reason why for most women, and there's studies on this, if you look it up, you can fact check it, most women are agreeable in the personality, in their nature when it comes to personality. And then most men are disagreeable. Are there women who are very disagreeable? Of course. Are there men who are very agreeable? Of course. But when it comes to relationship dynamic for most women, because most of you guys are agreeable, you don't want an agreeable man. You want a man that's more of a leader, and the leader has to be the one to be disagreeable because a leader is not going to dictate his decisions based on what everybody else has to say. And of course, you mentioned women are more emotional by nature, we're more rational by nature. So that's why for men, we're more fit to lead because we base our decisions based on rationality. Do you guys want a man that bases decisions on his emotions is not a man that can fit
That's
to
a
lead.
dangerous man.
So we have different roles and based on our biology. And I think that's where the conversation, I think that's why we have a lot of friction, which is okay. We can discuss about it. But the thing is, we're different, we're good at different things. And when we try to play a different role in the relationship, that's when you see the relationship starts to fail and we lose sexual polarity in the relationship. Because I promise you, if you meet, most of you guys said, I want a masculine man, right? And if you meet a feminine man, you guys want that man. Same thing for a masculine man. He wants a feminine woman, but if he meets a woman that's very masculine, that can cause issues. So that's just the what I see today. So, I mean, we can have an open discussion about it, but I think that a lot of us are not understanding that we're just different as men and women, and we're good at different things. Even though we can find exceptions of people in that role, but that's not the majority. That's all I'm gonna say. But
I agree.
Damien, I see you in the live chat.
Yes, why are we devils? Let's answer that question.
Okay, I'm gonna bring Damien in here.
Yes,
okay?
please.
But I have one thing that you guys wrote down, and Damien can add on to that discussion. Let me see. Hey, what's up, Damien?
Hey, what's up? This is a different Damien. I'm not that Damien. I'm the Can I Get Some Podcast Damien. You just happen to have the same name.
We had guns blazing.
Yeah, I know. That ain't me.
Hey, Damien, first and foremost, shout out to you for being on my subscribing to my locals as always. If you guys are watching this show, you guys know that this is a public show. You guys can join just like Damien. Click on the link in the description below, become a supporting member. You can join us and be part of the conversation and add on to the discussion. So
yeah.
I'll open up for you, Damien.
I figured I'd jump on and become a supporter because I'm gonna go broke with all these super chats asking all these questions. So I might
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Damien. What do you want to add on to our discussion, Damien?
No. Basically, first of all, I just kind of like I don't want to make it a big thing, but I really want to go back to the thing with Robin. I just remember your name because everybody said it. You know, I hear what you're saying. I grew up with initially my mother was a single mom for a long time until she met my stepdad. I hear what you're saying. You're not in a position where you don't want to lose your voice in a relationship. You want to be able to have your voice heard and be respected. I get that. And it sounds like from what you say in your background, that's kind of how you the women in your family or your mom grew up with the same thing. You guys had voices and you made sure they were heard, and you don't want to lose that by in any type of relationship that may force you to do that. I think you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's just me speculating off hearing things is that it's probably been, you've never been in a situation where you've been with a guy who's made consistent, long-term, smart decisions that you feel like, okay, this is a person I can kind of tie my wagon to, tie my future to. Because a lot of women who feel a lot more comfortable kind of falling back and letting the dude kind of take the lead role, because they say, you know what, he's been doing it. Like, he makes a great living. The house we live in, and he put us in a good area. He's a great role model for my children and blah, blah, blah. He's consistently showed these things. So I'm going to go ahead and feel comfortable with that. Don't get me wrong. My mother has been married longer. She's the same way. Like, she has this, her and my stepdad situation where she for a long time, she was always pushing back on a lot of things he said until he showed that it took some time for him to show that history of making good decisions, that she could be, okay, I see, I can put my bags down. I trust you with my sons, because she had 3 sons before she met him. I can trust you with my sons, that you're gonna help provide a good role model for them, and I'll get behind the situation. Am I close, or I'm just way far off with everything I'm saying? Let me know.
For me, it's I let that man take lead, and he decides one day, I'm not the girl for you anymore. Now I'm left high and dry because I let that man lead me. I let that man take control of my bills, my house, my income, my car, all the decisions that I make myself. I just gave to someone else. And now he decided to go off with this new girl who he just met 2 months ago. And now I'm fucked. Now all the decisions fall on me again. That's where it comes in, that I need to be able to lead myself first. Yeah, I need to be able to take control of my own business, take control of myself, lead myself in the direction that I'm going. And if that man comes along and he wants to walk beside me on that path that I'm walking, he can walk beside me and we'll support each other. I'll support you when you need help. I'll help you get a leg up when you need that leg up. But I need to see that same exact leg up when I need a leg up. And that's a partnership. That's not a leadership. We're doing this together because we choose to walk this path together.
I hear you. I think what the misnomer is that you're thinking that they're saying, you just sit back and I make all the decisions and you make no decisions. Because me and my wife, it's been established, I'm the head of our household, but her insight is more valuable than anybody on this earth. I value her insight because it helps me put things together. I'm the long-term thinking. She fine tunes it, and like she's the person who sees it,
and that's just what works best for that your situation.
Yeah. And and I'm not trying to impart that on yours, and I'm not saying that you have to have the same situation of mine. And I'm saying I would just say, and I understand where it comes from, because you just said a mouthful what you said. It was like, you haven't been in a situation. It's more comforting and easier for you to rely on yourself, because you want to be in a position where if that dude does bounce out, it's like, okay, I can keep it pushing, because from my understanding, you have a child, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you have to make sure, because you got more than just you to maintain. Mm-hmm. So I get what you're saying. I I just want to recognize that, I understood that you're saying this is coming up a self-preservation thing that I'm hearing. It's like, you need to maintain yourself because anything can happen. It's not that
I have something against masculine men. I've been with very masculine men. I've been with very feminine men. But it's give and take. You need to have a little bit of both. You need to be able to show that you know how to open up and be able to listen and communicate with that woman on a level that reaches her, because you want her to do the same with you. You want her to be able to communicate and come to the level that you're on. Then you need to be able to do the same. You can't just be pig-headed and think, oh, just my way is going to be the way that goes. And it can't be both ways. Women can't be bull-headed and be like, oh, it's my way or the highway. No, it's a compromise. That's what a relationship is. Yeah. And if you don't want a relationship, that's fine. And that's kind of where I'm at in my life. I don't want a relationship because I don't need someone to lead me. I can lead myself.
Yeah. And I said, and if you're in that position, and I you're all good. That's what you want to.
No, you're 100%. You were great, and I respect you very much.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to say that because I just want to say I get where you're coming from. It's not a situation where I hear what you were saying. Like which I don't, that it's coming from a place of self-preservation, not a distrust of men or dislike for men or what have you. I hear you.
Yeah.
But you can concede that if a dude, are you open? Like if a dude comes in and he's like showing a long-term history of making good decisions regarding you and safeguarding you and your child, you would be willing to, like, those decisions that where somebody has to be the final say, be like, okay, he's making, because like the last thing that where I had to be the final say was like significant. There's little shit that go on a daily basis, but significant was like how much we spent on a house that we
But
bought.
see, it goes both ways, because there's scenarios where you want the woman to be, hey, you're going to take control of this. You're going to.
Absolutely.
So then she
I don't
takes
even
lead
know
of
my
that.
kids'
It
teachers.
goes both ways.
I don't even know who my kids' teachers are. If she said,
Exactly.
who's your kid's doctor?
Right.
I have no clue who my kids' doctors are.
It's a leadership, okay? Not leadership.
She maintains all that stuff. But I think the long term, but I think where the roles are usually most successfully split is if the woman does all the immediate stuff, like where the kids are going, like the kids' teachers, the doctor's appointments and stuff like that. And the man thinks long term. Okay, the long term things. I think I'm better at, because
I feel like both parties should know both.
I'm saying they should know, but
What happens if you die? What happens if you pass away and your wife doesn't know anything?
Like I said, hold on a second. The long-term thinker would prepare for that and put them in a situation where they're taken care of.
There's more than just health insurance.
No.
When
just because he's saying long term, you're still included in the long term. You know the plan. He's just saying, I got this for us, babe, because you got X, Y, and Z for me.
I'm just saying that you both need to know both scenarios, like both stages, because if something happens to either one of you, you're going to have to take over both roles. You're going to be that one role. So you need to know
you can't do
where
both
your
roles.
kids' doctors are, and she needs to know how to do your bills and how to manage the bills properly. And you need to know where to bring your kids for their doctor's appointments and meet their teachers, because what happens if she passes away?
Well, there's a difference. Like my situation is different. Like I have to plan a little bit more long term because I make 80% of the money that comes in the household. So like if I were to die, there's a significant. There's something not. I'm not saying if she died, it
And
wouldn't be
she would
significant.
still have to make it work.
But so what I need to do is plan for that eventuality and make sure that she has the resources to hold her down for years after that. If my wife were to pass, I would lose my life partner, the best mother ever to my children. But financially, we'd be all right. We'd be okay financially. And yes, I'd have to maybe bring in some help, or maybe my mom would come stay with us, or somebody come stay with us and watch the kids and stuff like that. But it wouldn't be so detrimental to the whole family structure as if I die.
Yeah.
Correct. I guess that just depends on the household, because there are women who make more money than the men. So it just
you're right. You're right. But that's the one off though. 85% of households, men make significantly more than the wife.
Yeah.
I don't know. Women have been making a lot more money these days.
They are. But I'm saying statistically,
true.
So women have been.
I get that. I get that.
Always made more money than women.
I'm just saying. Is I understand you. I hear what you're saying. I know where I figured out from what you were saying where it's coming from. I'm just hoping if you decide that you want to get in a relationship that if the person shows you something for long periods, you're willing to say, okay, you get comfortable enough to fall back and let the dude kind of take over some of the long term.
I just don't know if that's for me.
Yeah, it may not. It's not for everybody, and I'm not trying to convince you to do that. And I appreciate. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to broach that with you.
Thank you, Damien. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not getting off. I'm just stuck it on you. She just was the one that was in my mind.
You know one thing I want to say before. Are you closing out? Because I'm looking at this clock now.
No, we're good.
I just want to say, I think when anybody step on a podcast, you got to be mindful of what you put out there, because people are listening. They are taking your advice. One thing I really want to say is, especially for parents, fathers and mothers, is just kind of be mindful what your kids see, because what happens is when you don't deal with the trauma of your past relationships, you spit that venom into your kids, and then your kids grow up thinking that men are no good or women are X, X, Y, and Z, or whatever the case may be. I think like it's a duty when you step into any type of anything that's going to require you to be in front of the light of people like this, that you're mindful of what what you say.
But I feel like there's nothing wrong with being a healthy, independent woman.
There's definitely
Robin, I never said that. So
I just feel like there's nothing wrong
listening
with
is
my
an important
daughter
thing
seeing.
when you're on the podcast.
I did listen. And there's nothing wrong with my daughter seeing that her mom has a different opinion.
What you say, Damien?
I don't want it to be like a jump on Robin thing. She has a perspective based on her experience, and it's different for what we are.
Yeah, right. And it was a shot, and it was in general. It wasn't towards Robin. She just took it like that. She's been sensitive.
Oh, come on,
I'm just saying.
Come on, a little bit.
No, absolutely not. Because technically, she said something about her past relationship 2 months ago. You still dealing with that?
I actually no. That was just a statement. That wasn't any reference to any.
Oh, I took it as
I haven't been
relationship.
in a relationship for months because I choose not to be in one. It had nothing to do. It was just a statement, like an example.
Okay, I can take that.
Anything to do with me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'll offer that.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
David's going to join us for the rest of the pod. So, David, appreciate it. And of course, everybody out there watching right now, I appreciate you guys on the live stream. Don't forget, if you want your voice to be heard, drop a super chat. I'll read it out loud for everybody out there. And if you want to join in as a public guest like Damien, as you guys can see right now, the link's in the description. Become a supporting member on the locals. I do want to bring up that topic because a lot of you guys mentioned the independent thing. Like there's a lot of women out there who are independent, especially we're talking about the topic tonight, which is women over 30. So women over 30, they're independent. We saw that reaction video that we saw on the TikTok. I don't want any man to tell me what to do. Do you believe that independence, the women with the independent mentality, do you believe that those types of women are going to find the men that they want? Or do you think the independent mentality hurt? Sorry, Kava. Do you think the independent mentality hurts you from attracting, repelling the men that you want? All right, so there's a side. There's a lot of independent women out there. I don't have a problem with women being independent. But we just had a discussion that men and women look for different things as far as what they look for in a long-term partner. Mm-hmm. So do you think that independent mentality is going to attract that independent masculine man? Or do you think that independent mentality, I can do everything on my own, I don't need a man to tell me what to do? Do you think that's going to repel the man that's going to lead you and make decisions for you?
Man.
So I want to open up the discussion, the independent mentality. Let me start. Let me start with this way and we'll go that way. Okay. All right. I want to give some more to the people who haven't talked so far to give them more time. So I'll start with Renee. We'll go this way, and then we'll finish with me and her. Oh, go ahead, Renee.
Well, just to clarify your question, you're asking if independent women will repel.
Do you think it benefits them to find a man, or do you think it hurts them to find the leader, masculine man that they want? But being the independent mentality, I can do everything on my own. I don't need a man to tell me what to do. This is a common mentality a lot of modern women today because women are pursuing careers, they're working, they're independent, they're paying their own bills. So they have a very independent mentality when it comes to themselves. And that's what and we watched that video of that woman, right? She said it on the TikTok, right? I don't want a man to tell me what to do. I'm 30, 35. He has to take me as he is. If he doesn't want it, I'm not going to change. So does that hurt you as a woman to attract the man that you want, the masculine man, the leader you want? Or does that benefit you, that type of mentality and that type of behavior? What do you think?
I think there's such a thing as hyper independence. I think that can deflect our ability as women from receiving. And so that being said, if you want to attract a man, or I just think you should just be open to receiving help from man, woman, again, whoever you want to be with. Be okay with not knowing the answer to everything, not having the right decision for everything, and be okay with somebody to take the lead for once in, or like, make the decision for us once in a while. And that's pretty much it. I feel like you can still be all independent, I feel like men should, I feel like if you're in a partner, or if you're in a relationship, that the person that you choose to be with adds to your life. And that's how I want to end things.
Okay. So just to make it clear your stance, you believe he repels the masculine leader type man that they want?
I don't think that independence repels the masculine men.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Fair
it.
enough. Okay.
Sorry, I'm about to ask you. Can you repeat the question?
Right. So we're talking about the independent mentality a lot of modern women today have today, right? I'm independent. I can do everything on my own. I don't need no man to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
I can pay my own bills. So do you believe that type of mentality, especially if we're talking about specifically women over 30, because the topic tonight was, does dating get harder or easier when they hit 30? So women who hit 30, independent mentality, I can do everything on my own. I don't need no man to tell me what to do. Does that hurt when it comes to dating and attracting the masculine man that they want, or does that benefit them?
I feel like it goes both ways, to be honest. Like, I feel like it can hurt them, but at the same time, it can probably benefit them because, I mean, to be honest, like I've seen men who loves challenges, and they're like, oh, well, if she's acting this way or she thinks she can do this way, let me see if I can, in a sense, get her and then, see from there. But I also feel like it'll be not so beneficial for the women because then it's like you have that mentality like, oh, I can do these things on my own. And so it's like, well, then, like you said, like the guy's kind of like, okay, well, if that's how you see it, then it's like, I'm going to keep moving, I'm going to keep pushing. So I feel like it goes both ways. Like it can benefit you, but at the same time, it cannot. So that's just my perspective.
Okay. So
I'm like very gray with it. You know what I mean? I'm like,
you're a fence sitter. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Robin. Robin, what do you think? What are your thoughts about that question, Robin?
I think if you are weak enough to be deterred by my strength, then you're not the guy for me.
Okay.
If me being independent and strong and being able to handle my own business is something you're not interested in, then I am definitely not the one for you. And you keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Robin. I see some new names. Okay. I'll pass it to Shamari. Shamari, what are your thoughts on the topic?
So I've been hyper independent because I have to for a very long time. And there's nothing wrong with it. If you need to survive, you need to survive. You, at the end of the day, you still have to take care of your kids. You have a household to maintain, but you don't want to lead with it if you are looking for a relationship. If you are looking for somebody to come in and help and build a future with, you need to learn interdependence, how to be, you don't want to be somebody's daughter. Like, I don't want to depend. I don't want to have to ask for money. I don't want to, you know what I mean? But like we talked about the healthy partnership, the best friend roles, and having somebody that you can defer to. I think it is super important. You don't want to lead with the independent role because it would be detrimental, because we talked about it before. The whole, I don't need you or I want you, you know what I mean? And so it's like, everybody wants to be needed. Everybody wants to have a voice. Men are the same, women are the same. And so once you realize like the things we want may be different, but it's coming from the same space, so to speak, that we all want to be whole. So if you're out there dating, then don't lead with it. If you want to be in a relationship, if you want to get married, then you don't want to lead with that. Of course, at the end of the day, you still have to put food on the table for your family. So you have to do what you have to do in survival mode. But if you're trying to get to thrive and peace and happiness and living a happy family life, and you want that, then you don't want to lead with it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Shamari. I'll pass it to you. What do you think?
I feel you on that gray. I'm in the middle, but I feel like I'm leaning more with, if I'm going to be independent, I'm going to be independent. And in a relationship, it does get hard being completely independent because we all want to feel needed. Sometimes if I'm not asking him something or encouraging then he's not going to give me all the energy back.
Okay.
And then if I'm 100% independent, that's fine. I want to be, but I also want them to know that in our relationship, you're going to have the end call too. Like it's going to be a level thing.
Okay. All right. So you're in the middle.
In the middle, it just depends on the situation and kind of where I'm at. I'm
Okay.
still learning about me, so that's why I'm still single. I want to know where I stand, and then I can find that person.
All right.
And right now, that person's not going to get here until I get there.
Okay. All right. All right. No worries. And last but not least, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Well, I feel like being an independent woman is like, in a way, it's like your strength. And it's like when you have to give away that independence, it's like in a lot of women that's really independent, it's like a weakness for them. So it's just like I'm being vulnerable and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. So it's just like if you're in a relationship with a man and he wants his woman to feel like, you know, I can lean on you. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't want a woman to feel like, oh, I don't need you. I'm independent. If you can't figure it out, I'm gonna figure it out. Da 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 da. But the man wants to be able to feel like, you know what? I want you to do this and do it. Because everybody doesn't want everybody wants somebody to depend on. Like you need somebody to depend on because you can't go in this world thinking that you can just handle everything on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot be that person. So it's just like, so when you get in a relationship, the whole purpose of being in a relationship is to have that person you can lean on. So you have to put that trust in that person to be able to lean on them. And also that like it just have to be like a give and take. So you can't just be just all independent. Like, oh, I am woman, hear me roar. I don't need a man for nothing. You can't do nothing for me. You can't have that attitude in a relationship. If that's the case, you might as well be single. Mm-hmm. So it's just like if you decide to be in a relationship, you also decided to have a partner that you can lean on, that you can depend on. Mm-hmm. So it's okay. You could be independent. Everybody is independent in their own way. Exactly. But when you decide to be in that relationship, you decided to trust that person and to be able, when you can't handle something, you have that person to lean on and to be able to lead and take over when you can't be in that position to do so. And then being in a relationship with a man, you have to give a man that, or they're going to feel like, what am I doing this for? Because if you got this and that and this and that, what do you need me for? You know what I'm saying? So like I don't know who said it, but everybody needs to feel like they need it for some type of way. So if you get in a relationship, you have to also remember that you got in that relationship because you wanted that, you fell in love with that person or whatever the case may be, and you needed that partner, that life partner or whatever to lean on. So you have to give them their position to be able to handle that. So that's how I feel.
All right. Thank you. And I'll pass it to you, and then we'll pass it to Damon, and then come back to me, and I'll disagree with everybody. Okay. Go ahead.
I think it hurts you right off back, but a lot of points that you guys said, I agree with. It was a lot said, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say, it hurts a woman to say, I'm independent, I don't need you for nothing, because at the end of the day, what she said, every man who they want to be needed. And if I don't feel like I'm needed, then it's just kind of like, what's the point of my being here? So it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that. And Damon, what's your piece to that, Damon?
Yeah, I feel like
we see modern women have today, does it hurt them or does it benefit them to attract the man they want? The man
any woman who's trying to get in a relationship needs to get rid of the word independent and change it for the word self-sufficient. Because independent in the understanding of men means apart, separate. You know, self-sufficient means you can hold down your own and maintain your own, but you're still open to be in that interdependent relationship. So if you say, you know what, I'm not independent, I'm self-sufficient. I maintain mine, I maintain my kids, I do that. I handle what needs to be handled. it's not as repulsive to a lot of men, because men, like you both of you have said it in like various ways. The word independent makes me think, oh, she don't need me, she don't want me. She may be bitter, you know, maybe there's some trauma from like a previous relationship where she's holding on or something like that. So it just comes off as a negative connotation in the dating sense.
Yeah.
Self-sufficient just is positive. Be like, man, she's been maintaining herself. So that means if something happens and she needs to step up, she's already got it in the mentality that she can sustain something. So I think that's the thing. So I think having an independent mind frame where you don't need anybody, you want somebody, is detrimental. If you want to be in a relationship, you need to be like, when that person needs to feel, just like you said, needs to feel needed, not something you just kind of want. You know, they need to know that there is a significant amount of investment from you. You are sacrificing something because they're sacrificing something to be in a relationship. And this thing you're sacrificing is self-sufficiency for a term if necessary.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Damon. I agree with Damon. I don't. He said self-sufficient. For me is being independent is just being an adult.
Right.
That's just the way I see it.
Yeah.
When you take responsibility for your wife, for your life, to pay your bills, pay your place, handle yourself, that's just being an adult to me. And I think the reason why a lot of guys don't really, that's a negative for us, because for men to be independent, that's just expected of us.
Absolutely.
For men to be independent, it's not expected of you, but then you guys would use that as a way to make yourself look better. For us, it's like we have to be independent the moment we turn into a man. So, yeah,
let me piggyback off that real quick. I think the term independent then got changed over the years. Because I feel like when it was first brought in the world, I feel like it stood for single mothers, like mothers who pretty much had to get it popping for their kids to make things happen. And it's like, oh, that's an independent woman. She's handling her stuff, and you know, their kid don't know nothing about it. You know what I mean? They don't know that mom's, robbing Peter to pay Paul. But then I think over the years, it's turned into I'm independent. I don't need a man, and it turned into that. And I feel like social media plays a huge role on that, because I have friends who are single, who are obviously adulting. You know what I mean? But none of them have that attitude as far as like, oh, I don't need a man. You know what I mean? What they saying is I'm waiting on the right man. You know what I mean? I'm just not settling for any man. So
for me personally, when I hear women say I'm independent, I don't need a man, I think for me personally, they're coping.
I feel like you broke it.
It's a cope. You're coping for the fact that none of your relationships have worked out.
Right.
It's easier to say to make yourself feel better, I don't need a man, when we know for a fact inherently we're social creatures.
Not everybody
we want
wants
relationships.
Yes, not everybody does though. There are tons of people who don't want relationships.
Is that the majority of people?
There are tons of people who don't.
I'm not saying, is that the majority of people?
What does that matter? There is
I don't think it's
significant amount of people that don't.
I understand there's people out there, right, that don't want relationships, but what I'm saying is that the majority of people?
What does that matter?
Because you're trying to put something that most people are looking for.
But what about the people who don't want relationships?
Robin. Every matrix of human interaction says that men and women are better together. That's what it is. Every matrix, they make more money, they live longer, they have more fully self-actualized children. Every matrix of it says men and women, they look together. Now I'm saying, because like I said,
what about women that love women and men that love men?
But it goes back again to us wanting connection with somebody.
Absolutely.
So, go ahead. No, so let me just break this down and pass it back to you. The reason why are there women out there who don't want relationship and they don't want a man? I agree with you, Robin. They don't. There are women out there.
Sometimes it has nothing to do with their previous relationships.
Okay, I agree. Whatever the situation is, but the reason why this is a topic of discussion, those very same women who say I don't need a man, a lot of these women are online and they're persuading a lot of women to have the same mentality when these very same women want a man. So they're persuading something.
You're persuading women to follow men.
Don't most women want a relationship?
No, that's just what you're saying. There are tons of women these days that don't want relationships or kids.
No, what I'm saying is majority of women want a relationship, want a man.
In your opinion.
No, that's a fact.
Okay.
Because we wouldn't have made it to civilization have not made it today if most women didn't want a man and didn't want to have babies. The reason why we're all still alive today for thousands of years
what I'm
is
saying
because
is
people
there's a
procreated
large
and people had
growing number
relationships
of people that don't.
and people built cities. If women did not want men and women did not want to have babies, we wouldn't have lasted this far. That's just common sense.
Robin, what he's saying is statistically, just long term, he's saying he's not trying to convince anybody to do anything. What he's saying is like, if you look statistically, the most successful relationships are certain dynamics, and one of them happens to be a man in the leadership role in a relationship. That's
and then
one
what
of
do
the
you do when
successful.
it's two women? Did they get to decide one's a man and one gets to take over?
Any relationship, there's somebody who has more. They have to determine their relationship.
So
you know, my cousin was married for 20 years.
So let's just go back to can we at least agree that there are women out there, a small percentage of women out there who don't want a man, but a majority of women want a man and want a relationship. Can we agree with that?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think everybody
That's it.
wants a relationship and wants a life partner. I feel like everybody wants that.
I would say as a life coach and everybody that I've came across, if they don't want a partner, they've always said it's because of past relationships.
Even in same-sex relationships, there's always one person who plays a dominant role.
You know what though? That also can be from the example that their parents have set.
That's the only reason why I haven't is because of my parents.
Exactly, the childhood trauma.
And
that's
how you were raised, and that's how they were brought up,
And then my friend
experiences that they experienced.
But statistically speaking, and as biologically speaking, we as people, we thrive
need
as
to be around other humans and have that interaction.
But there's nothing wrong with people that don't want.
But we didn't say that.
Right. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with them.
Could be there.
Yeah, but that's not the norm. I think that's not the norm.
Right. You can still do
like
that.
a dog or something with a loving.
My daughter is all I need. I don't need a man. I don't want a man.
Yeah.
One comes along and he wants to try and pursue me and actually try to convince me to have a partnership with him. I'd be willing to consider it. But that's a partnership in the future. That's not now.
Yeah.
I don't want that now.
Right,
And
but
that's
you're
my
open to
choice.
it.
Yes.
I never said I wasn't open to it.
Okay. All right. Okay. No. So, David, you wanted to add on to that or no? You're good.
Yeah, I hear you. And like I said, even in same-sex dynamics, there are one person who takes a more dominant role. That's just the way it is.
And I can agree to that.
Yeah.
I was over here
My cousin Dee Dee is a lesbian, and she's very much runs her same-sex relationship.
It's always the person that's more dominant in the relationship.
I've been in relationships with females where we're both. Where 1 minute she's more masculine than me, and the next minute I'm more masculine than her. I've been in a relationship with both.
Yeah, it's always
Right.
that.
But let's just say your experience is not the norm. Will you acknowledge that?
That's what we're saying. Is like
yours is not your experience is not the norm.
For my experience.
I know, and I'm replying to you that even though that's an experience, but that is not the majority. That's what we're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then don't ask me for my opinion and then try to throw statistics at me when you ask for my opinion.
Well, I can ask for your opinion, but I can also reply to you with my opinion. That's a conversation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't always have to come back at my opinions and say they're wrong.
No, I can because it's a conversation.
That's my opinion. It can't be wrong. It's an opinion. Your opinion isn't wrong just because it's your
my
opinion.
can be wrong. That's why you get to challenge it.
That's not what an opinion
Hold on
is.
a second. Do you agree that somebody can ask what is the basis for your opinion?
We're having the discussion about it.
Yes, you can have an open discussion, but it's
Okay, so
still
you can
an
say what is the basis, and then
right
you
or
can say,
wrong.
and you can compare the basis of your experience to what is statistically in society.
Yes, and what I'm saying is an opinion isn't a fact. An opinion is an opinion, your personal belief, not a fact.
Absolutely, but nobody's saying that it has to be a fact. We're just saying is how your
can't be
opinion
right or
different
wrong
from
with
the
your
common
opinion.
consensus
How
of
long we-
society.
No, that's good. No, we're not close. No, that's good. That's all good.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, just like I said, it's a podcast where we have discussions. We can agree or disagree. And like I said, everybody has an opportunity to share something. So I'm not here to tell you what to believe in, but everybody has a right to respond to each other. That's what the conversation is. If you disagree, then you can respond back. If you don't want to disagree, then you say, I'm done with this conversation. We keep it moving. All right. But nevertheless, yeah, I think we've come to the end of the podcast for everybody out there. All right. So I appreciate for everybody out there. All right. But as always, thank you so much, everybody who jumped in on the live chat. I appreciate everybody that. Thank you so much, Damien, jumping on as a guest, public guest, on being part of my locals, and also thank you, Damien, for all your super chats on the podcast to support the platform. Thank you so much.
You got a good panel there. They had some good stuff to say. I gotta say.
Yeah, that's good. And ladies, I just want to say this. Like, I just want to make sure it's clear everything that we discussed today. And to make sure it's nothing personal. All right, we're just gonna have a discussion. I respect everybody's opinions, and we brought up before. We get to share it, and if we agree or disagree, we can go back and forth. And then if not, then we can keep it moving. All right. So I do really appreciate everybody's time. I do really appreciate everybody here. But I'm gonna ask everybody real quick final thoughts from tonight's podcast, and if you guys want to share your socials, so that way people can follow you. Thank you so much. I just want to shout out to everybody. Appreciate you guys always tuning into my show, always giving me support and always participating. Thank you so much, whether you agree or disagree. But ladies, thank you so much. We had a great time, great conversations. I love the conversations and the back and forth. I actually appreciate that. I enjoyed that the most. All right, so I'll start with you guys. What's your final thoughts from tonight's conversation, and how can people find you? We start this way, we go that way. Go ahead.
My final thoughts is I can agree to disagree to everybody's opinions. Everybody brought something to the table depending on their situations, and just getting a different viewpoint on the situations and everything. And I think it was a good, healthy conversation that needed to be had. Even though my viewpoints are different because I'm in the LGBTQ ABCDEFG community, and so my viewpoints are a little bit different. But you can hit me on Instagram at Mika Star Official.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it, Mika. I'll pass it to you. Final thoughts, and we'll keep it moving. And if you want to say your socials, how people find you.
I think this was needed. We all need to have discussion because it's about everybody's point of view, and we all get to talk about it. And there's going to be someone who's listening who's going to believe something like this, or little pieces of us. And all our minds are always going to be 100% different, and it's great to talk about it so people will know that it's okay to be different. It's okay to have different views. And this is always healthy to have a conversation about.
Okay, thank you so much. And Shamar, part 2, thank you for coming back for part 2.
Yes, sir.
Final
Good to be
thoughts.
here.
Final thoughts, and how can people find you?
Final thoughts on today. I'm just glad everybody spoke from their experiences, and we're not afraid to share, despite the fact that there were conflicting opinions, and despite the fact that there's a lot of different things going on in the world, and statistics are changing, dynamics are changing in the family. And I think just being open and aware and willing to hear other people's point of view is huge, because we want to bridge the gap at the end. We want to bring men and women back together versus how I feel a lot of media, I know she said social media, but I think it's music too. Music has been preaching about being independent, and you know what I mean? And so I feel like a lot of the things, even the artists, that I follow, they're very much on the fence. I notice certain artists aren't putting out music anymore because they don't want to follow the false narratives that are being put out there on us. And they're like, do I make what I want to make, or do I make what I'm supposed to make?
Okay.
So I think once you can kind of separate a lot of the different factors that are coming down and dividing us, and just being open to hearing other people's perspective. I think it was great having somebody that's married and not even in the dating community to give us her perspective, right? Because it's totally different for you. And then having somebody that's also not in the, typical heterosexual, I appreciate having that feedback from them as well. And then for me, I'm not going to pressure and be out there on the dating scene. I've got other stuff going on. But I mean, if it happens, I'm open to it. And being honest with yourself, I think, is also very big on where you're at in your process, and being honest with other people as you come across them. Don't be afraid to have those conversations. I'd rather have all the deal breaker conversations up front and be like, let's just be friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we happen to be a good match, then we know what we're dealing with from the gate. So
Okay.
I think everything that we talked about today, even though, you know, there's a little bit of conflict with it, I think it's all beneficial in the long run for everybody.
Okay. All right.
And you can find me on Instagram, shamari.jade.
All right. Thank you, Shamari. Robin, I know we disagreed on everything, but but I did appreciate you coming on here, and we had an open discussion. Appreciate you being on the pod. What's your final thoughts, and how can people find you?
I respect everyone's opinions, and everyone is allowed to have their opinions. That's what an opinion is.
Mhm.
And none of your opinions are right or wrong, because everyone's is different. And I respect that. And there's no hard feelings here. But I will defend my own feelings and my own opinions because that's just how I feel. And there's nothing wrong with that either. And having someone step up and say how they truly feel and fight for how they truly feel, well, I can respect that too. Because in a room full of people trying to tell you their opinions are right, you need to be that one to be like, well, I disagree. I feel this way. And that's okay. And everyone else, I respect you all. I think you're all great people. And thank you for having me. I always love a good debate, and I am definitely not afraid to share my opinion, as you can't see.
Okay.
You can find me at Instagram at Raven Aurora 0819. Raven is spelled Raeven.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much,
Can
Robin.
we repeat the question again? Because I'm like, you know, all of the information I'm getting, I'm like, okay, taking it in. I'm like, okay, what was the question?
What's your final thoughts from tonight's pod, Kelly?
Okay.
And how can people find you if you want to be found?
Final thoughts. I feel like everyone gave like their honest opinion, and like I really appreciate it. I think a lot of people need to see different perspectives and be open-minded to it. As far as it goes, I know like there's a lot of people who are looking on this podcast, you know, to kind of be guided in a sense, and also get like different inputs from both male, female perspectives. So I feel like it was very beneficial. And then as for following me, Instagram is love_Kelly with 4 A's between the.
I couldn't remember mine.
Yeah,
I was
Think about
like,
it.
it's something and something.
But yeah, like I appreciate everyone who came here,
Yeah.
like getting this different perspective from everyone. Definitely has me open-minded, and it's like it makes me think about my friends who are like going through stuff, and you know, like I hope they're watching this, and you know, take into consideration what everyone said, you know. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, thank you, Kelly, for coming on the pod. Renee, final thoughts.
I agree with everybody else. We can agree to disagree. We can also share our opinions. And there are no right or wrong answers to these questions. I want to say I'm grateful to meeting all you ladies. And thank you, Will, for inviting us here and for the Kava. And I want to piggyback about what she said earlier. You know, people are watching this. And so if you have a platform to stand up for injustice, please use your platform to do that. And I want everyone to remember to take care of themselves first and foremost, and then to take care of one another. You can follow my organization's account. That's Tutulong, which is T as in Tango, U as in uniform twice, and then L as in Lima, O as in Oscar, N as in what starts with the N? I don't know. November. And then G as in golf, with 222 at the end. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Renee.
I was like, it starts with N.
Final thoughts for you.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I really enjoyed talking to you guys and hearing different perspectives, even as a life coach, dealing with a lot of different relationships and stuff like that. So I love hearing other people's perspectives. And Instagram is Leticia MP. That's LATECIA MP. And that's it. You know,
Okay.
I'm good.
All right, and Damien, final.
Yeah, my final thoughts are going to be based on the topic at hand. Does dating get easier or worse? I think it can get worse after 30 because generally the men that you're going after different men. You're not going after the guys in their 20s that were the only thing that they needed to have was maybe a little bit of money, but they needed to be good looking, tall, fun, and all this kind of stuff. The guys in their 30s are going to be a little bit more busy. They're going to be a little bit more established. So yes, if you're still dating like you did when you were in your 20s and your 30s and 40s, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you because the playing field is dramatically changed. So just keep that in mind, and good luck to all y'all. Y'all, like I said, y'all was spitting. You said seriously. I don't remember all the names, but I know. What you say? Your name is Leticia, the life coach. He was spitting. Is it Zamara with the V-neck?
Yes, Shamari.
Jamari, you were spitting. I mean, y'all. See, that's the experience. I say, young people, listen to the older people who have this life experience because a lot of times they got to kind of figure it out. And yeah, y'all, I gotta give it to y'all. Y'all got some good stuff. I might have to steal them when I start doing my podcast.
All right, Damien. As always, thank you for jumping on as a guest. As always, everybody on the live stream, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget if you want to jump on a future podcast next week when we go live. Sign up for the locals. If you become a supporting member, you can jump on. And also, thank you so much, David, for all the super chat donations. I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys next time. New topic, new panel, probably new debates. All right, but we're going to have some fun. As always, I appreciate you guys. Definitely follow all the ladies. I'll definitely drop all their socials, but we'll see you guys next time. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Bye.